Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Well,
Hello.
welcome to the 20th episode of Is This Thing On? I can't believe that we're already at 20 episodes. So that means we've been doing it more than 40 weeks, right?
Yeah,
Because there's a couple that we had to push a week. So um yeah, I got
that
that's
means it's almost a year.
almost a year. Yeah,
That's a
almost a
high
year.
five moment. Hold on, high five means that way.
Wait, yeah, that way. There we go. Ah! Let me get the comments. Here we go. For the comments up. Okay. All right. Hold on one second. Let me get. It always takes me a minute to get rolling here. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did.
I've
Whatever.
got a shock
Okay.
tonight. I'm going to shock you tonight.
You got a what?
I'm going to shock you tonight. I'm not drinking tea. I'm drinking something else.
Oh. Okay. I'm not sure. I want to know. Do I want to know?
Why? You just assume it's urine or something?
Pat's here. Hello, Pat. I don't know why my thing's not. I mean, we are live, right? I don't know why the thing didn't come up here. Hold on.
What's that happening?
Oh, because maybe I didn't hit notify. Is that what happened? There we go. Okay. I like to watch you, on screen and also out of the corner of my eye, so I can
Yeah,
make
I'm,
sure
I'm
that
going to be
always your.
a little bit blind tonight. I think I've had to change things around a bit. I think I don't know if I have to do it like this, but today I'm doing it like this. So I've got it. This is facing the other side of the room. You've never seen this side of the room in a video.
I actually didn't even notice that it was different.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, hold on. Whoa, that's this is weird. Let me backwards. That's a picture of my wife's parents when they were young,
Cool.
and that's a picture of hold on. Whoop. This is so weird doing it backwards. That's a picture of Prince. So
Oh,
I may have said before that my wife's obsessed with Prince. So
yeah. He
so
is
yeah.
that the right name? He went back to the name. He went back to the name Prince before he died,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol because he
Yeah.
was in court with Warner's trying to own his music again. So because they said you can't play live or do anything as Prince while you're in court, and he went, all right, in that case, I'm not called Prince anymore. So
I
that's
didn't
why.
know that story. I didn't know that's why he did it. I just thought he was
Yeah,
being weird.
yeah. Well, it was a weird response, but it was for legal reasons. So he wanted to keep
Wow.
playing. Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
he went
clever.
and he used to play in disguise and stuff on TV. So we all knew it was him, but you couldn't prove it. So that's why he was called that unpronounceable symbol, which the journalists eventually called the artist formerly known as Prince. But it was also that he could carry on playing.
That's cool. That's very clever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's quite funny, really. Yeah.
All right, so let's we got Erie's here. Hi, Erie. So we got a bunch of people here now. So we'll bring on our surprise guest. Not really surprised, but kind of
Not a surprise to us.
not a surprise to us for sure. Ready? Ta-da! It's
Yeah, actually,
Nicole.
we did announce that Nicole was going to be on it as well, didn't we? So it really isn't a surprise.
It's not a surprise. Yeah, I always put it in my post, but I don't put it right. Like, oh no, you sometimes put it in the video description itself, right? Like in the StreamYard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't know why we do that. Maybe we should just stop doing the surprise thing. So this is Nicole. From those you don't know, Nicole from Nicole's Bookish Nook. Um, wearing her. I just noticed. I just literally noticed a couple days ago, Nicole, that is your own merch that you're wearing on your head there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't I sometimes mention it, but if someone I basically do like 90% fun and 10% sell yourself
Mm-hmm.
but like the marketing thing is supposed to be 80%, 20%. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So like if someone like says, "Oh, where'd you get this?" or like whatever, then I'll say it's my merch. But
Mm.
I don't push it because that's a little annoying.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so if people ask or someone brings it up, then I will. But yeah,
Olive was thinking of doing some merch, right, Olive? Olive
yeah, she's
merch.
a spooky
Yeah,
doggy baby.
you can have t-shirts with Olive in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna want anything with me on it, but some people might want Olive merch. I think I don't know.
You could have a T-shirt with Olive's face on it, and it
Yeah.
says "I like it dirty."
That would be good. That would sell.
It probably would sell.
That,
That probably would sell. Let's just
Yeah.
let's say hello to everybody quick this here. So we said hi to here Erie and Pat. Jenny. Oh, Miss Jenny here. Jenny here, the producer's
Jenny,
here.
we can't carry on about Jenny.
Everybody's saying hi. William's here. Hey, William.
Jenny,
Everybody's
send me
saying
some cold
hi.
tablets.
Yeah, Gareth's a little under the weather tonight, everybody, but he's not going to let that stop him.
No, no.
It's a party when Jenny rolls
I'll
in.
keep going until I physically can't do it.
Saying hi. Olive fans. Yeah. You want your own OnlyFans? What do you think? People like you,
Olive OnlyFans.
you barking out like some of those dirty books you like to read. I don't know. So for anybody, probably a lot of people here already know you, Nicole, but maybe so Nicole is a booktuber and an author, relatively prolific author at this point. So maybe you could just give everybody well, I mean, you've written a fair bit of stuff.
If you're talking about backlogs, yeah. Not like I make a lot of money, but yes, backlog is there. Yes.
So tell everybody about your channel and about your work and all that jazz.
Yes, well, I could have in the right here. Yeah, right there. I could have said Nicole's Bookish Nook, but because I live streamed Productivity Sprint yesterday on my channel, so it's automatically Nicole Pierman Brona, but it works because if you type in Nicole Pierman, then you'll see all my things, including Nicole's Bookish Nook, the YouTube channel, and then my website and the Amazon pages and some author interviews and all that fun stuff. I don't know how I hit the jackpot of the SEO on Google, but you can find me, and I am proud of that. I don't know if I can replicate it for anyone else, but I did the keywords properly. And I write poetry, not really. I have poetry chat books. I stopped writing poetry a while ago, so I'm not going to say I still write it, but I have poetry chat books under Nicole Pierman, and also historical fantasy and historical fiction. And then Nicole Brona is relatively new, and that's all urban fantasy mysteries.
All right.
So I think a lot of people know my given name, which is Nicole Pierman, but then my urban fantasy series has kind of dwarfed the other books. So you might see it's an interesting mix. I didn't want to completely separate my given name and my pen name, because I only did it because the Amazon algorithm would be very, very confused showing the urban fantasy with poetry readers. It's not that smart. So I would confuse the algorithm, and when the algorithm on Amazon for anything, but really for books, if you confuse it too much, then it just completely stops showing it, and we don't want that. So so I did separate because there's not that much overlap, but I'm open about it because it's just that sole reason, not needing to protect identity or anything like that.
Wow. So that's the sole reason why you use the second name, was because of the Amazon algorithm?
Yeah, and just like the marketing and thinking. I do have a lot of reader crossover, but that's because people then find me and like my channel, and then they like me, and then they'll go read like the backlog, and it doesn't matter because I've connected both names everywhere. So if you find Nicole Broner, you're going to find Nicole Pierman and vice versa. So it's all interconnected. So I do get a lot of people that will find the urban fantasy and they'll read a couple or all of the Nicole Pierman books if they're interested. But they're on, like, in general, urban fantasy doesn't have much connection with historical fiction or poetry. There might be a little bit with historical fantasy because fantasy, there's like that slight connection, but urban fantasy is very kind of specific with the expectations.
Right.
So that's why I separated, but like not really, but yes.
Okay. Huh.
So what have you used for marketing your book?
On occasion, well, not really on occasion, I have Amazon ads running, but I've drilled down on that. I really do the just being myself and just kind of connecting with people and, oh yeah, so you happen to, find out I'm an author. Ooh, let's give her a try because I like her, and let's see what she writes and how she writes, and that has actually gotten me pretty far compared to like doing in-person stuff, which that's hard. That takes a lot of time and money depending where you are. And then Amazon ads, where that's a slow and steady creep, and the Amazon ads are not built for books. So you have to learn a lot of stuff. But I like Amazon ads because you don't get paid per impression. You get paid, or you don't pay per impression. You pay per click. So I can have 5,000 impressions on Obsidian Murders, but I don't pay for that. But it's still in people's mind. So, I only get paid if they click the sponsored ad on Amazon. So if I think I've spent $2 and some change so far this month, but I will make, about like $50. Well, then I just have a $48 profit. Can I track where that comes from? Not really, but I'm not turning off those ads because people have done it in the past and their sales tank, and they're like, okay, turn those back on. Boop, 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 boop. And then I do know people that will say, oh, I found you from YouTube or Facebook or Goodreads and I bought your book, and I can tell because it's tracked on Amazon. Thank you so much. So it's hard to track, but what I'm doing now is slow and steady, and I prefer that. I think building up a community of people is just better for me personally. Like I'm not a person that can stand outside with like a stack of books and like call people.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable. But there are so many people that make a lot of money doing that because they're extroverts. I'm not. I could not. So it depends for everyone out there.
Yeah.
You just have to try things out, which is a little scary, but that's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just catch up here real quick. Brian's here. Hey, Brian. Albert. Good evening, fellow buttercups.
Well, Rage Biscuit.
There's a definite Nicole Bookish Nook fan right there. Nicole starts every video with "What's up, buttercups."
Also, you kind of like I just randomly started that, and then people were like, "You need to do it every single time." I feel so good. I'm like, "You're a buttercup. You're a buttercup. Everyone's a buttercup. I love you all so much."
Everybody remembers it, so it's a good one, right? People remember it. Hey, Constance. People saying hi. Hi. Jess is here. Hey, Jess. Spooky babes all the way.
Hi, Jess.
Everybody's saying hi. A lot of highs tonight.
Yeah, talking about that in-person thing. I occasionally do a stall with my books for as part of the Portsmouth Authors Collective. So there's a lot of authors in Portsmouth, and we get together and try and sell books like together, like they're all on the same stall. And next month I'm taking part in this event where we're all going to have individual stalls. That's kind of interesting. Never done that before. So all my books are going to be out.
You don't. So you don't do the like those sort of convention routes at all, Nicole?
No. I even get nervous when people say, "Can you like?" I'll say, "Yeah, I write," and they're like, "Oh, can you sell your book to me?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like you have it's like a blurb of my book and why you should buy my book. If you don't, maybe it's a hot take, but if it's something like that, then maybe I don't want you to read my book because I have to sell you in like an essay, like face to face, because I don't."
Oh, they ask you to. They want you to
They're like,
sell
"Okay,
them
sell."
on your book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They persuade them to
my
buy it.
Adderall's wearing off. I'm so sorry.
Right.
That made sense in my head. Yeah, they're like they ask, "Okay, you need to
Tell me why I should buy your
Yeah,
book today. Give me
that's
3
it.
reviews.
Yes," and I'm like, "No."
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I mean, that's not usually what happens. But I like, with those conventions or whatever. But it's like I've been to those, and it's like just lines of like authors, and I get nervous because it's just lines, and then like you have to grab people's attention from other authors. I just don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Like, everyone should get everyone's book. No, that's not possible. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I feel bad.
No, I get it. But you don't have any issue with it, Gareth. It's
Well, it's funny because I was thinking about that, and I think because I used to work in retail, so before I was a teacher, I worked in retail. So I think I'm used to trying to sell something over a counter. So I guess
right.
That's probably where I feel comfortable doing it.
No, but you like don't ever like feel like you're like when Cole was talking about like you're competing for attention with like the other authors there.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
suppose that it's a very friendly competition because I will also, if they say, because we share the same stall and most of the things like that. If
Okay.
they say, well, I'm not really after science fiction, I'm after horror, I go, oh well, that book's really good, buy, and then it'll be some guy standing next to me.
Yeah.
You get that one or whatever. So if it's depending on what they're saying, but if they're looking at the books in front of them, looking for a particular thing, and it's not my book, but it's someone else's book, I'm happy to sell that to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just laughing because I saw this. No, Constance, he's not. But it's every now and then. Tonight you're just going to see him like this. He's just his sinuses are settling. He's under the weather tonight, so he's just going to look like that every now and then.
Yeah, I'm going to less animated than normal. I think probably. I don't know. I'm amazed.
I give him a lot of credit for. He messaged me this morning. He was feeling awful. He probably still is, but he's just pushing through. That's how important the show is to him. He's
yeah, no, it's true. I actually love doing this, and it was really nice. I didn't want to not meet Nicole on screen and chat and stuff. So yeah, I was going to occasionally blow my nose.
Not next to your phone mic, though.
Yeah.
No. Oh, is that what I'm doing?
Great.
Yeah, this is broke as he's sick. That's right, Jenny. That's right.
I'm also not going to be drinking tea this evening because this is better for a cold.
What is it?
So I'm on cider.
Oh.
And believe it or not, when I've had to gig, when I've had to sing with a really horrible cold, this totally clears my throat. Cider.
Is that alcoholic cider?
It is, yeah.
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 Yeah. That's always my theory. You just gotta kill it with the alcohol. You just down a whole bunch, and then you just lay down hold on to the rug for a while, and just got to drown it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just drown it out. I'm going to try and open this.
Great to see Nicole here in the live stream.
Cheers.
Cool, Dave and Gareth being awesome. Thanks, Jess. Jenny Park. Now, Nicole's wishing she had some of that cider. Jenny Parks. Oh no, I was late and I didn't know. Every time a salesperson knocks on the door.
I don't normally drink cider on a Thursday night. What an alky.
Salesperson knocks on the door. They make me put out my step ladder to look into the people.
It's nice, sir.
Are you that short, Jess?
That's a
Because
high.
I'm short. I'm short. I'm very short. Gareth, you're pretty short too, right?
Short.
I guess so. I guess
I'm 5'4".
Are you 5'4"?
I'm 5'4". Well, 5'4"
No,
and a half.
5'7".
The half is very important at that.
Oh yeah, grab everything you can, Dave.
That's right.
Am I going to be able to find you if I do meet you in New York?
I don't know. It might be tough. I got on some stilts so I can get over everybody's heads.
Carry around like a sign with your head on it or something. Your face on it, and then that'll rise above the people. Then, won't it? Yeah. Or
are you taller than me?
Go on Joe's shoulders.
Are you taller than me?
A few feet, a few inches.
A few inches. Okay. Yeah, because I saw that picture of you and MJ, and you looked like a child next to her.
Yeah, she's taller than me, but MJ is 8 foot tall. She's enormous. There were people running away scared in London when she came down.
I believe it. Yeah. Hopefully she's not on here yet.
She was in a weird mood, actually. She was growling at him. It was really weird.
Oh boy, Nicole! I checked your channel. Was immediately greeted by a flowery skull, a disturbing books countdown, and a video about the Prydain Chronicles. Instant subscribe. There you go.
Yes, I'm a mix.
Is the Prydain Chronicles? Is that one that starts with? Is that the Danu book? Is that series?
That's by Lloyd Alexander. It's the people know about the second book, which was made into a movie, The Black Cauldron by Disney, and it almost bankrupted Disney because it was too dark. Which they did make it darker than the book series.
Okay.
I don't know why they did that. I love the movie. I didn't know it was a book series. So it's a middle grade high fantasy 5-book series.
Oh.
So I just recently did a overview of it.
I hadn't heard of this. Did you know about this, Gareth?
Yeah. Troy Trellope's been doing some videos on it as well. On that series. And also one of the things I know about the Black Cauldron, which being a massive Tim Burton fan, when he worked at Disney, that was one of the films he worked on, and he was doing all these designs for it, and they were like, "No, you're too weird. Stop it," And he'd like make all these designs, and then they said, "No, you're sacked. Go away." And then he said, "Look, before I go, can I make a short film?" Before I go, and they went, "You're gone in." And then this is like literally quoting them. And then they let him make a short film, but they didn't want to use any of the designs he made for the Black Cauldron because they're too weird.
Huh.
Yeah, I love Tim Burton. It's like Tim Burton does a cute but creepy style.
Yeah.
I think that's just me though. But then like the Black Cauldron kind of has the vibes of The Last Unicorn, but The Last Unicorn has anime-esque vibes. So like it's the Black Cauldron, they took out a lot of the honor, good versus evil, respect, be a good person that I think the Chronicles does well. And it's from the 60s, so it's basically like the kid version of the Lord of the Rings. And so the Black Cauldron is the second book. The Book of Three is the first book, which is kind of confusing. But they kind of mesh the Book of Three and the Black Cauldron kind of sort of into the movie. And like they're separate books for a reason. So, okay, there were choices made. And that's probably why, among many other things, that it almost bankrupted them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I feel like an idiot.
They had a period, didn't they? That they ended up getting rescued by Little Mermaid and
the spoilers.
Hunchback and
I'm
No,
writing this
Disney
down
got
now.
rescued.
I don't know. I can't believe I don't know anything about this.
No. Disney got rescued, not the characters. I'm not talking about the
Yeah,
book.
Disney got rescued.
Okay.
You know, they started making money. Beauty and the Beast as well. They started getting lots of money out of those, and that helped them out.
And they started pushing the princesses.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that helped a lot. So,
yeah, because the early films don't really have princesses in them in that way, do they? Really, it's Cinderella and Snow White, but actually they did loads of other things like Jungle Book and Robin Hood and Aristocats and stuff that had nothing to do with princesses.
yeah,
But
so like they had a few princesses, and then they realized with the Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, oh,
oh.
funny. So then they have like the princess lineup, and they push it, the princesses, and you can there's 3 ways you can become a princess. It's, well, you're born a princess, you marry into being a princess, or you're so, like, the wording is like, you're so noble that you are like a princess, which would be Mulan, because she wasn't. She's not either of the first 2, but she saved all of China. Like, of course she's a princess. Get her in there.
They're a big part of Disneyland as well, aren't they? The princess thing. You can, like meeting the princesses in Disneyland is a really big thing for the kids as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So they really focused on that, the princess line.
Oh yeah.
But like the Emperor's New Groove, Hercules, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Treasure Planet, amazing. But their most popular is princesses and then Marvel stuff. So they're not gonna necessarily move away from that. Though they have Pixar now and Inside Out. Yeah, Inside Out is really popular.
Yeah.
Toy Story. So like they have different avenues.
Yeah.
But they're expanding, ever growing.
Yeah.
Rage Biscuit is here.
Yeah, I grew up with princess stuff, even though I was like, Mulan, thank you. That's my favorite.
I love that film.
I've seen that one.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
I love the song that Donny Osmond sings. I'll Make a Man Out of You. I think it's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll make a man out of you.
Hey, Margaret.
Hey, Margaret.
Here's the info. Buttercups make horses really sick. Did you know that, Nicole?
No. I know about I had to ask a few people because I grew up around buttercups, the flowers, and then if you put the buttercup under your chin and it's yellow, then you're sweet. Not everyone understood the reference, but I still went with the buttercup, and it's fine. I tell the story on occasion, and they're like, "Really? That's how you came up with like calling people buttercup?" I'm like,
All right. Let me see. Sorry.
One of my students started playing Build Me Up Buttercup earlier, and I was like, "You're going to do that one?" And I think they're going to work on it. It's a great song.
That is.
Yeah.
So
Jim is here. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Is the stream cutting out or is it my connection? I think it's your connection, Brian. Saying hi. Stream is fine. Yep. Jim. Oh, sorry. So to catch up with these things. Siri, can you sell me your book? Yes, it'll be $8.99. That should be your answer, Nicole. Pretend you didn't hear the word on,
Although it won't work if they don't phrase it like that. If they say, tell me why I should buy your book, and you go, it's $8.99.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
They would be like, I'm sorry, what now? I'm sorry, I misheard. I'm going to go on. Gotta bring it back.
Scrumpy for a cold. That's a new one for me.
The what?
Scrumpy for a cold. What'd I miss?
Yeah, Scrumpy is a nickname for Silo. And honestly, because obviously it's loads of horrible stuff in your throat when you got a cold, and it does clear it.
Yeah.
After
he has 2 of those, Brian, he's going to be feeling way better. It's not. There you go. Brian wants you to snort salt water instead.
Ooh.
Oh, he's so kinky, isn't he?
Hey, MJ. She is here.
What, the
You're a
giant, the
wild
one that scared London and made them all go back into their houses?
But maybe she wasn't here yet when you were saying that. So
Yeah, probably not.
don't get yourself in trouble for nothing.
MJ said she might come back to London, but she'll have to warn everybody because she was so frightening last time.
She heard you.
MJ, if you missed what Dave said, Dave reckons I'm like 2 feet
No,
tall,
she heard you.
and he thinks he thinks you know, I look like a baby.
Right?
Baby with a beard. That's a good name for an album.
He
Baby
looked
with
like
a beard.
he looked like a baby standing next to you, MJ. And it was not just his baby face. I mean, he looked.
That could be merch.
That could be merch. Baby face. Baby face.
Yeah.
Grr. Yeah, she heard you. The giantess has arrived. Since her name was mentioned, spooky, right? She's like Siri. She's always listening, Gareth.
Yeah. I love it when Alexa comes on when we're having a live stream. Brilliant.
How tall are you, MJ? Me? 5'9".
When talking about merch, I'm entering a short story competition at the minute, and if I get anywhere, and I get any money from it, I'm gonna try and do a run of T-shirts, which I need to pay someone to do it. But I want to do a like "Stay Curious" with a new version of me saying "Stay Curious."
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That'd be a good one.
So,
How much? What's the prize money?
so the prize money is £1,000, but I don't know if I'll get it really. But
Wow.
you know, you gotta be in it to win it. They say.
That's right. What kind of competition is it? Sci-fi?
It's a short story competition. There's 3 themes, and I've already written. One of the themes is clown, and I've already written a story about a clown. So I've just got to tweak it a bit, make it better. Take some advice from my daughter who said you need to change this bit, and then do it. Hand it in. I got to the end of the month.
Okay. Cool.
It's about a clown who goes mad.
If I were a clown, I would go mad as well.
Exactly. I think we all relate to it. There's something funny about wanting to be a clown, isn't there?
Yeah, I might. I wouldn't like that. I don't like clowns. Well, maybe Dave and possibly Olive would know. But what like that 2016 trend, like around Halloween time in 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where people were dressing up as clowns and following people.
Yeah.
We'll have a fun time if you step on my property. Crazy. And some of them were like they had fake knives. You know, you get at like Spirit Halloween or Walmart or whatever. And I'm like, but you can't tell. So why would you follow people in a clown suit with not like knives? Like that's
Yeah.
I have a problem with you there.
That's the
And
end of
they're
a
clowns. It
shotgun.
should be more crazy. It should be spoons, isn't it?
Yeah, or just like I don't know.
A whisk.
Oh yeah, make it fun. Well, yeah,
Make it fun. A rubber chicken. Yeah, they follow people around with a rubber chicken. That's what clowns should be doing.
Then it's like okay, well you're not a threat. Like you're not really a threat. But if
No, but going around with a knife, you're not really a clown, right? So
you're a killer clown, and we're gonna have a fight. That's what we're gonna. I don't like that. But they were following around kids and women, and I'm just like, why is this funny?
Yeah.
It ended,
crazy.
and probably because there were some things that happened that did not make the news, but it ended, and that was it for 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wife used to lie about being 5'9".
Oh.
That's why Dave said Gareth looked like a child next to you. Yeah. Gareth was well, so how tall are you, Gareth? If she's 5'9",
I'm 6'4".
I got it.
Because you said you were a bit taller than me.
I think I'm 5'7".
You
I think I'm 5'7".
You think?
Well,
No.
It was many years ago when I investigated this.
Yeah.
I think I'm 5'7". I might be 5'6", but I think I'm 5'7".
MJ's 5'9", I don't think you're 5'7". I'm gonna talk to your wife.
My wife is like 4 foot. She's tiny.
Yeah.
I like telling people this because it's amazing. My wife wears 3/4 length trousers, and they go to the bottom of her legs. So that's proof that she's got 3/4 length legs.
Now, Nicole, when he says 3/4 length trousers, I think he means capris.
Yeah.
You have to on this show. You got to learn to speak British.
Pants.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go right to the bottom of her body, so she's got 3/4 length legs.
I used to really watch a lot of British television, and then my ex-boyfriend was English, and I lived in the UK for a little second.
Oh.
Yeah. Where did you live?
I'm not going to pronounce it correctly with my American accent. Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire. Yeah, Hertfordshire.
Right the first time. All right. You have to say things really fast sometimes. And then you get it. You can't think about it.
That's right. Or it sounds close enough when you say it with speed.
That's a very pretty area, though, isn't it? There's lots of greenery in Hertfordshire.
Yeah. Well, he was in like apartment building. I don't remember like exactly, but it was apartment building, so there wasn't that much green. But you had to walk kind of a ways. I don't know how built up. This was in 2011, so it could be totally different. And I was thinking of going to the University of Hertfordshire, but then I was like, why do I want to? Like, kind of had a little existential moment there, and I was like, I'm just like, I'm going just to be with a boyfriend. That doesn't. What if we break up? And we did. So it was a smart move on my part.
Maybe you felt it was coming. Maybe you just thought.
Oh, and then you came back. You came to the U.S. right after the breakup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was only there for like. It was a visit.
It was a visit that got out of hand.
Yeah. Well, it was like, let's like.
Got a little carried away on that visit.
Yeah, I didn't mind like having like a gap year or whatever to like go over there to see if I liked it, But because it was like I did the application, they accepted me. Really fast. And I'm like, oh well, okay, let's go over and see how it works. It didn't work out. No, because I'm in Washington State, so it's been a while.
Yeah. But you're talking about British TV, and Dave, doesn't it sound exotic and interesting when you say that our show is sometimes broadcast from America and sometimes we broadcast this show from the UK? That sounds cool, doesn't it?
It does sound a little cool.
Yeah, this is like an international show that alternates between two huge countries.
Yeah.
Well, one little country and a huge country.
Yeah. We're still pitching various streaming services, so we're not on any of those yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
This is a new TV. This is
Brian is 6'2".
6'2". No, he's not. Yeah. He looks in his videos. He looks about 3 foot.
Yeah. So you'd come up to his.
I imagine Brian like a pale Oompa Loompa with a beard.
No idea how tall or not anyone is online, right? It is kind of funny. How tall are you, Pat?
Yeah, I think Pat is over 6 foot. Pat's enormous.
I'm gonna guess Pat is 5'7". That's my guess for Pat.
I like that.
Nicole, what's your guess?
We're gonna try and guess everyone's height as they
come up. Everyone's got to guess. Nicole,
I'm thinking 5'5" or 5'6".
5'5". Garrett,
that is the best height.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's your guess, Gareth? You think she's really tall?
For Nicole, I think Nicole's 5'5".
No, for Pat.
6 foot.
6
Pat
foot.
6 foot.
All
Yeah.
right, Nicole. I would guess
Just-
Nicole.
Either that or she's got 6 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those two. I've never seen her feet, so I don't know. Well, I assume she got 2.
I'm gonna guess Nicole's 5'5".
Yeah, I think either 5'5" or 5'6". Yeah, so I'm
I'm
going
5'3".
5'3".
3.
Awesome. You're shorter than me. That's wonderful. I don't see that very often.
That's cool,
I
isn't it?
didn't have,
You can get under the cracks.
yeah, I didn't have the best nutrition as a kid.
Oh.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
I've met MJ's other half, and he's tall.
Wow.
I sent
Taller
him an
than you,
email
Brian.
just to chat to him.
Sorry, what?
I sent him an email just to chat to him. He's so tall.
Oh, yeah, taller than Brian.
Yeah,
I love
well,
the Brian
Brian's tiny.
Chronicles. I just read it for the first time 2 years ago. The 5th book was really bad. Where you used to
Oh,
see
is this an actual
everything.
sensible comment?
Huh. Yeah. Heidi, who's read everything.
Oh, Heidi needs to send us more recommendations.
Because, I mean, we've been so good at getting to all of them. So, well, you're a very tall couple. They sure are.
Yeah.
Taller than Greg and Hannah, too. I guess they're
Uh,
tall. I
yeah,
didn't know.
Greg's probably little. I reckon Greg's 5'7".
Oh, okay. Like you.
Yeah, I'm not tall. I know I'm not tall,
Yeah.
but I'm not short.
It's MJ from the Philly pictures.
My sister's shorter than my wife, and my wife is short, but my sister is like mental short. I think she might be legally a dwarf. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
She's very small. She's never watched this thing. I can say what I want, but she is tiny.
Yeah. Well,
You
one
can
of
put her in
my
your pocket.
daughters, we were wondering about that legal, technically what I do, because one of my daughters is 4'10".
I think 4'10"
Yeah.
is that a dwarf?
I think it might be. We've heard that. I don't know if it is or not. I didn't research
Wow.
it. Yeah.
There
Yeah,
are
my-
different.
my godmother's 4'10", and she's a nurse. She has to always go in the petite section, but at least not like the kids section.
Yeah.
Like there's at a certain point, because I
Yeah.
knew a few dwarfs, and I don't like 4'5", 4'4" or something, because I went to my high school.
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, that was tough. That was tough for them.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, my wife's 5 foot. She's always getting the petites. Her whole life, she always gets the petite sizes. It's frustrating trying to buy her clothes sometimes. Shoot, I lost it. What happened here?
What happened?
I lost my spot.
I like looking at the comments on my TV, which is there. So this switcheroo is not great. I don't like the switcheroo. I've got to try and read the comments on the.
Hold on. All right, let me catch up. Nicole, we're really bad about getting behind on the comments. So
I think everyone is, because they go so
worse than I am.
Yeah, we'll try to catch up here. I'll be fine before they get these comments. Okay, MJ's going to go catch the comment. This is what the doctor told me.
Oh yeah,
When I was
MJ
12.
about the comment. She said, "Stop reading and look at the comments." That's what MJ said.
Yeah. Great guest tonight. Sure is.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Jenny. What are you reading? Booty Could Dreaming the story. GGK's Lord of Emperors. I don't know those books. You guys know those books?
No.
I'm short. I'm a fun size. My husband is very tall, 6 feet. Pride Inn can also serve as a fun gateway to the Mabinogion.
Oh yeah. That's a Welsh folk tale.
Yeah, the Pride Inn series. Laurie Alexander did a lot of research for like a standalone book, and then he for Welsh history, mythology, and folklore, and then he created Pride Inn. And I mentioned in my video, those names are so freaking hard. Like you have like the pronunciation guide at the end of every single book, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna make it up. Gideon. His name's Gideon. I don't know whether I can barely speak English half the time. Okay.
Let alone Welsh influenced words.
Impediments are like I don't know. Gideon. Don't
Did
feel
you
bad.
say, did you say Prydain or what did you say? Pryden. Did you say Pryden?
There's like, and I think also it's like based on where you are in Wales. Like it's the same for Irish. You can have ever so slightly different accents and how they say it. But like I've heard Prydain.
Yeah, I'd look at that and I'd think it was Prydain.
Yeah.
It looks Celtic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Welsh. Yes.
Yeah.
The Celtic languages are really, really hard.
Yeah. Too many
so you just have to remind yourself it's a completely different language. It's not connected to German, like the Germanic languages or Romance language. It's not that like they're hard. You look at Welsh words and there's like 10 letters and you pronounce 4. Same thing for
yeah. And Y is a vowel as well in Welsh. So they got an extra vowel, which is the Y. That's an E sound. Yeah. And Tolkien's Elvish was based on Welsh as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Celtic language are very pretty when you hear it, but then you're like, you're saying what now? Oh, okay. I trust you. I can't say that.
Yeah. I think it's funny, but I've got a Welsh family, so I do think the Welsh language is funny. It just sounds funny to me.
I don't remember if it was Welsh, but am I remembering this right, Nicole? When I was reading like the Amazon samples of some of your books, and I think it was one of your books that like right in the front, you were like, this language can be hard. Here's how you pronounce these different words, and
Daniel's Curse is Irish historical fantasy.
Yeah.
So it's Irish-ish, That is Daniel's Curse is like Iron Age-ish Ireland. So like, and we only know so much because nothing was really written down. So there are many things that you got to guess on based on what they have found, there is a lot that they found. But then there's stuff you're like, let's just go with it. So like even the pronunciation guide for Danu's Curse in the front, that might not be how they said. We just don't know. So I'm like, okay, best guess. Here we go. And
do you have it there?
Where? Oh, I do. I have my books back there.
Oh, you got to show everybody your books.
Yeah.
Oh.
Try and sell them to us.
Oh God. Well, 1 second, because I'm wearing. I don't know if my outfit matches. You know how you do like if you telework or when you do live streams and you dress up a little bit and then you're just like, why are you in sweatpants? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, Gareth's not wearing pants right now. He never.
I'm not wearing anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing under here. Apparently, it's really good for if you've got a cold. Just let it all hang out.
I actually stay whenever we do these live streams. I actually, since it's my own office, I wear jeans to work. Actually, I try to dress okay, but I hate like wearing slacks. I just wear jeans, without holes in them. But I actually, when I get home, I'll like change into shorts or whatever. But I leave my jeans on for the live stream. I try to stay, like
that's very respectful.
My nice clothes. All right, so let's see, Nicole. Let's see what we got here.
Well, I
let me get this
now. I now see why you said prolific, because I do have that.
Right.
Those
nice.
Those are my books. So okay, I get the idea of prolific. Let's see. Oh, right here. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Faye Lane. Love you, Faye. Yeah, this she does like nearly all of my covers. Yeah, this is the Irish historical fantasy.
Okay.
And yeah, at the very beginning, glossary. Yeah. I mean, those are the most difficult, but I'm sure that like there are other ones where it's just like I see how it is.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just gonna guess on that. I had like when I was reading the Chronicles of Priden, the first book, I was like, I'm just gonna nail it. There's a glossary in the back. We're gonna nail these pronunciations. And then by like page 50, I'm like, I'm not. I'm distracting myself, trying to like going forward. Like I'm reading, and you were like,
Yeah, right.
and you're like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, some people just have different names. Gideon. Like, and it's like Gwen, I think Gwen, there's a Gwen there. I just don't know how to say it yet. So he's Gideon, like for example. And I'm just like, I'm so proud for any of the children, preteens, teenagers, adults, but like them specifically, because that it's middle grade. I'm so proud of them, for any of them that read it, because I can see, like, I was getting frustrated with myself, and I'm 31 years old. I can't imagine someone that's just like starting out. But the Welsh myths and legends are really fascinating. So like I maybe he should have picked easier names, but it's also the 60s, so it's like, deal with it. Lord of the Rings has worse names, so I think you'll be fine. Because it's like the children version, basically, of Lord of the Rings.
So Danu's Curse, though, that's a series, right? Aren't there more?
No, just a standalone.
That's
the only
standalone.
series, the only series I have is Urban Fantasy, which I put the stack over here, maybe.
You got to show those.
Oh my. Yes. Well, yeah, that's nope. That's the first book.
Mhm.
And that's the second book. Yeah. And I'm currently writing the third book. It's out January 3rd. I only have 4 chapters left. It's really great. I'm a little tired. I'm kind of on like the tea caffeine right now, and there's a little bit of Adderall. I might crash soon. But I was writing before I got up.
All right, let me just catch up real quick, and then I want to get back to that. Okay, I started this year's reread Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah, Jenny reads that every year, right? Wrote a poem about cider after drinking a few. That's the best time to write. Jenny Fellowship is my favorite of the 3. There's mine, but that's because Dave, a fun merch item for your channel would be a stuffed animal olive. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's probably expensive to do, though, right? But
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
little cuddly olives.
The stuffed olive. We had crisis today.
Oh, what happened?
Today. We ran out of here. Sorry, she doesn't like me.
You're doing that for ages.
We ran out of doggy treats.
Ooh.
And Chewy doesn't come till tomorrow, probably.
Oh.
So we had to make some popcorn for the night. Olive loves popcorn. She loves.
Oh, cool. Yeah, have you got some biscuits yourself, Dave, tonight?
Yeah. Let me catch up here. Hold on.
Yeah,
I got biscuits. Hold on.
Nicole has got some almonds, isn't it? Did you say almonds, right? Yeah.
Cool. Don't spoil it all, man. You gotta let her introduce it herself. Jenny, are you aware of the Raharim anime movie coming out at Christmas? Anybody heard that?
Yeah. It's a bit of the the human bit in Two Towers, the Rohirrim. Yeah, and like Eowyn and what's his name? King. Can't remember what the king's name is, but yeah, Eowyn was the one. Yeah, the woman who disguised herself as a guy to kill one of the witch kings. That's the rowing.
Anxiously optimistic, bloody nervous after the horrendous rings of power. Was that clown following people trend before or after the assault weapons ban expired in the U.S.? Good question. I don't know. Do you remember, Nicole?
Oh, no idea. No, it stopped after they were there was the trend in like certain states, and then it got to the South, and like then it stopped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Somebody got a shotgun in the face.
probably was not on the news though, but yeah, yeah. They're like, just stop doing that. Learn our lesson.
Jenny, what do you think about the Drogo's weight sunk the boat theory? Yeah, Jenny, let us know.
Yeah.
Feel better, Gara.
Thank you.
Capsized. Forgot I was wearing Converse. She was wearing Converse when you look like a baby. I just can't do the all the lore and the random change in the city.
MJ was standing on a box in those photos.
She was what?
She was standing on a box in those photos.
Yeah. Oh, this is all stuff I is over my head.
Oh, Aragon.
My
Can't read it very well because I need my TV on to be able to read it.
I'll read it for you. I just can't do it with them deliberately changing all the lore and the random change of the city of Aragon just so they would have a wall for the battle.
Rings of Power, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
If a British show is
Poldark.
Poldark. Maybe
That's set in Cornwall, isn't it, Poldark?
After OG Star Trek. That's what?
Pretty sure Poldark's set in Cornwall.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's an old historical thing with a very sexy man as Poldark. Everyone loves him over here.
Huh.
Forgotten his name, forgotten the actor's name, but they all think he's gorgeous.
Aiden Turner? I think someone said Aiden, I think.
They said who he is.
Kicked out of chocolate factory. I passed parasites.
Yeah, Aiden Turner. Jenny's.
That's so I was always 5'4", but I'm shringing. My last
Oh,
was
wow.
5'3". Okay.
Oh, let us know how tall you are at the end of the session.
That is mighty, but we. Poldark is good, and I'll have to look
Aiden
into
Turner, that's it. Aiden Turner, everyone loves him.
Oh, Aiden. Okay.
They go, lots of like middle-aged women go, oh, have you seen Poldark? Oh, isn't he lovely?
Constance is also shrinking.
They're all shrinking. It's an epidemic.
All right, bye, MJ. You probably left already. Oh, wait. No, we're catching. Oh, we're not too far behind. Hi,
She got
Diane.
off to watch comments. I think it's a bit rude. Do you know what I mean? There'll be another comment in about 80 years. Why the hell is she going off to watch that one?
No. By the time she'll be back by the time we get there. I'll direct my Rex to Jenny now, as she is more likely to read fantasy, historical fantasy. Jenny, have you read Glorious Exploits?
What's that? How are you saying she's not going to recommend anything anymore?
Not to us.
Oh my God.
I'm tired of us not reading them.
Wow. Wow, look at that.
But
We've officially disappointed someone.
unless
We're letdowns.
11. Phew. Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, so Diana's officially the shortest one on the live stream that we know. If you're shorter, let us know. What are your favorite videos to make? Awesome. So Nicole, what are your favorite
If you can
videos?
reach the
She's still
keyboard,
here.
let
She's
us know.
back. She saw the comment. She's back.
She's
What are your
back.
favorite videos, Nicole, to make and watch?
The only videos I do are the ones that I like doing. So I don't do videos that I wouldn't enjoy watching or filming. So like for example, all my book reviews are 4 or 5 star reads, and I don't do 1 to 3. So
You won't even review those books?
I'll do like they're in my wrap ups, and I just recently started doing wrap ups. I haven't for like 6 years.
So your reviews are like recommended books.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah, I just prefer. I go by the thing of like as an author, if you give it attention, you're still making the money, right? So if you want to truly protest, you say nothing. It's like they don't exist. You know, there's a lot of like, you know,
Oh, that sounds harsh.
yeah. If you truly want to protest something, you don't say anything. You don't mention the author. You don't hate read them. You don't, take a TikTok video of you like ripping up the book because you're giving them attention. And some people will think that is hilarious or whatever. And then they go out and buy the book. So then you just made that person that you don't like $100.
Oh, but you're talking about for authors that like you're talking about when you don't want to give them attention for like political reasons because they have some scandal or something, or are you
Oh
also
no, I don't.
talking about a book that just is really crappy?
Yeah. So if I hate a book, then I'm not gonna talk about it.
Huh. But what if people like if you say a book's really crappy and then somebody goes out and buys it because of that, that's because they want to read the train wreck, right? Is that
But
Yeah.
what was the last book you hated?
she's not going to mention it because she doesn't want to give him any attention.
I know. I was going to see if you
Well,
found it.
Oh, I ruined it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Last book I hate it. Well, no, I won't do.
Wait. But don't say it if it's one of Gareth's book
Oh no,
or anything that I had a
hate
story
it.
in.
Hey, don't worry about it. Nobody reads my book, so it's all good. It couldn't be one of mine.
I don't. Yeah, I don't hate many things. And I don't hate many people either. I didn't like Cujo. I didn't like The Only One Left. I didn't like Cunning Folk, but
Oh, really? Adam Neville?
yeah, I didn't.
Oh.
There's that was overwritten. But when the topic, because I did a recent tag that Bad tagged me in, and it was I mentioned if you truly want to protest something, like as in like art or an artist, they don't exist. Treat it like they don't exist. Because for example, Dead Inside. Love Chandler Morrison. How much attention did he get when people were burning his books and telling him to die? A lot. Like a lot of attention. Also, that's just horrible. And I don't know why you're saying like the internet is forever. I think people forget that. So like that's also a point. But what would have happened if he didn't get so much hate and harassment? Would Dead Inside and him as a whole get him a publishing deal and like people hate read him? However, he is still making bank.
Yeah,
Right?
there's that old saying in it. What's worse than being slagged off, not being talked about at all?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So I go for that, and then like with the people that do those videos, which you can do that. It's not my business. But if you do truly want to not give an artist, doesn't matter if it's a writer or painter or anything, as if they don't exist. So that's a point. And I'm not going to put my energy into something I don't like or I turn up hating. I want to uplift the great stuff. That's just how I go. And also, I've seen a lot of booktubers, none that we know, but like I've been on booktube for like 7 years, and I saw a lot of booktubers hate reading, saying that this author is trash. She doesn't deserve this, and that. And so, that's what they built the audience up.
Yeah.
And so then
that gets so much more. If you slag something off, it gets so much more attention, more subs, and all sorts of things. Yeah.
But then one, the internet's forever, and then two, what type of fan are you attracting? And I have seen so many booktubers just fall off the face of the earth, or their fans turn against them because basically all you're putting out is this person's trash, this book's trash, let's go on a hate train on Twitter, and like it's not great. Like, so I watched a lot of booktube before joining, and so then I was like, okay, so I'm gonna curate just as much as possible positivity, uplifting, and also, you know, my job looks at that type of stuff, so it doesn't look great professionally in many ways, not just because I'm an author, but like full-time job type of thing. Is it great if I have like an hour of video trashing and another human being? I don't think, and I know my job would not like that, and it's just not. Yeah, I don't like that. And that's you know, me, but I think a lot of people, because the negativity does get a lot. I know it does. It's really hard. It is, but I think you have to think of, you know, take a moment and think, what do I want to attract, and in my like long term, what do I want for my channel? Could I have grown more within 7 years because I'm like finally about to monetize? Yeah, but morally for me, I did not want to do that because I saw so many people just get hurt or be hurt, and it just didn't feel good. So, but like, you know, kind of wrapping up, I do wrap ups, like there are a lot of 1, 2, 3 star. 3 stars average for me. If you give me a 3-star book, thank you so much. I don't think 3 stars are bad. A lot of people do. That's totally fine. Everyone's different, but I will do wrap ups, but it's like 1 sentence, maybe. Like the other, like the closest I have gotten was A Clockwork Orange, but that wasn't about the book or the author. It was, it's like fans of Alex, the main character, who is a rapist and a murderer, and you know, but they want to be like him. They think he's cool. I have a problem with that. So like that's different. And also Anthony Burgess was like, I shouldn't have written this book in 3 weeks. It needed longer. It needed more time. But I'm known for A Clockwork Orange, and I regret it. And I'm like, I do get it. Like there's stuff in there that's really great, but it needed to be really fleshed out, because then you get people that love Alex, or there have been many, like back when it was first published and a little bit years after that, there were teenagers trying to be like Alex because they thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's why people banned the film.
Yeah, and like that's really, really tough. It's a tough spot to be in. So that's why, you know, for like all the things, you just have to think on things a little more.
Well, I've become quite cynical about people who do criticize books and really slag them off and do a rant review where they go mad on it. To me, it just looks like they're doing it for the attention and the subs and the likes or whatever. Because I feel like it takes more effort to praise something, you know, because it's just such a default nowadays to just slag something off. You know, people just love doing that, and people love seeing that. And to me, it just looks like it doesn't. It looks fake to me now. You know.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference of, here is an hour essay of why this, I'm critically going through and analyzing a book. That's different than this sucks and you suck if you like it. Totally different. I kind of did that with like A Clockwork Orange, where it's like, let's go critically through it, because it would be so much that I did have to say something, but also like it's connected to mental illness and you know, like that type of stuff, where I just felt I wanted to say something for A Clockwork Orange. I do mental health advocacy work online and in person, and that just like But like that's extremely rare for me. Usually it's 4 or 5 stars, and then wrap up. I'll say this book didn't work for me, but I think also I'm not going to trash the author. I'm not going to assume anything. I don't know you, right? If like in A Patriot's Tale, there's racism and there's sexism, but it's the 1770s. I can't say that that didn't happen. That would be lying. And that's why it's hard for historical fiction writers, because you have to balance, and it's a very hard balance. But I think, it would be disingenuous, insulting in a way if I didn't bring up certain things, especially when it's South Carolina. Oh, please, yes, yes, it's crap. It was like for many people it was crap during this time, even before and after the Revolutionary War. But I was like, well, we're gonna tell this story, and we're gonna do it appropriately with a lot of research, and we're gonna take this carefully. But I want to tell this story. But so me knowing that, I'm not gonna assume that a writer leaves something within their book, because I don't want that to happen to me. But unless someone outright says something, then I'm going. This is an interpretation. It's subjective. It's art. Like for example, this is really minuscule, but this was years ago. Someone said through Twitter directly at Diana Gabaldon, who wrote the Outlander series, "Oh, Claire has mousy hair, like mousy brown hair." I don't know, and very small detail, but Diana was like, "That's not correct." So, okay, we know that she doesn't have mousy brown hair. That is a fact, unless she forgot what Claire's hair color was. But I'm pretty sure Diana Gabaldon, with all of her just brain power, would know that it's mousy brown hair. But it's stuff like that where like the author says, no, she doesn't have mousy brown hair. It's actually this hair color. Okay. Or like maybe someone is saying some other thing that can actually be a fact or not, and the writer says, no, that's not true, it's actually this. Then I'll say, well, I'm gonna go with the writer here. But 9 times out of 10 it's subjective, and I'm not going to read into necessarily what the writer is portraying through characters, because that I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Some of my characters, they're antagonists for a reason, but still,
Huh. Let me just catch up here. Let's see. Poldark is based off novels. The other wrote them in a lighthouse in Cornwall. Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Nicole, I see you've written an Irish fantasy. Can you talk about that a bit? Pat just visited Ireland, I think. That's why she's curious.
Oh, yes. We had I think, oh no, maybe it was someone else. I was talking about Ireland and someone's tag. I am bad with remembering. So sorry if that was not you, Pat. But yeah, Danu's Curse is really heavily based on, well, specifically Irish gods and goddesses. But those, because it wasn't written down until Catholic monks came in the Dark Ages. So like there's some, you have to pick and choose which version you're going for. So I kind of did kind of like the most popular gods and goddesses, and it's like Iron Age, Ireland. So like we don't know all that much, so you kind of have to just pick one and be like, yeah, I think this might be it, but it might not. But we follow a young woman who is named Ness, who has to, well, she doesn't have to. in a way, she does and does not need to have an arranged marriage to bring peace between Irish clans in her area, but she does, and things do not work out. I'd say there's a lot of gods and goddesses and fairies, or they wouldn't be called fairies. There'd be Tuatha Dé Dan. Great word that I always mess up. It's in the glossary. But you would know them as Fae, or you would know them as she, or now it would be like gods and goddesses. But they've been at this time, like I say, like some people would at this point in the book would say some of them that are really powerful would be considered deities, but others aren't. So I'm basing it on the fantasy aspect of these are real and they're walking around, and some are very powerful and some are kind of not, but we're not at the point of the Fae going underground because they were run underground because they lost the war between the Gaels, and then like all the gods and goddesses kind of pop up because lots of versions. It gets complicated. So like it's a very niche book. You kind of in many ways you kind of have to know a bit about Irish mythology, or else it's like, okay, yeah, cool, interesting. But I started reading Morgan Llewellyn when I was younger. She's an Irish American author, and she inspired me to write this book. And her writing is very Irish focused, so that's why I'm like Irish focused book. It's not my most popular because it's very niche, and it does also take into consideration the time and place, which would be like 500 BC, and like that historical part of arranged marriages and not treating everyone equally, and what counts as, for example, SA and what does not. And you can see that. I think you see that in basically every like folklore. Like there are very blurred lines between humans and deities, and between deities, and like what is acceptable now is different what is acceptable then. So I do have people not liking a lot of my main characters, but that's what the mythology and the history would be like in 500 BC Iron Age Ireland. So, I think it's a great book, but I understand why people would be upset with it, with some parts of it. So I don't recommend it to like half of the people out there.
Nope, that's not something you say about your book.
Yeah, well, oh no.
Oh, nice. You switched around.
That's very nice.
That's very clever.
Well, I think just like I wouldn't recommend, like there are books that I don't recommend people because I know that they wouldn't like it. But if you know,
I like you're trying to move away from me because I got a cold. I see what you did there.
But yeah, if you can handle hard topics and understand that there is history involved, then I think you'll be fine. But there are readers that do not like to read certain things like sexism and SA and all that stuff, which I totally understand. So,
But you feel like it's got to be in there because it's set in older times, so those values were different.
Yeah, and then also how the gods and goddesses, someone's coming for you,
Yeah.
Someone's coming for you.
I was gonna say there was like for
It's a wrap.
the whole time Nicole was talking, there was like almost like a feedback noise.
That's
So
like some
just
kind of biker gang going on there.
yeah,
I
you
live on the
might.
main road, so it can get noisy.
Do you have like some background noise there generally, Gareth? Because there's like some kind of feedbacky sort of echo happening.
Is it? Oh, is there?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Here a little bit.
The dogs are being quiet. Cats being quiet.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, Nicole. Go ahead.
My wife's asleep.
Yeah, no,
Well,
yeah, well, there's certain books for some people and others not, and so I have to get there. There's like universal books of mine that I'll recommend, and then there's some that I gotta know you a little bit more. Like I
Yeah.
don't recommend Teal Nostalgia, which is my fourth chapbook, because a lot, like about 80% of those poems were from trauma therapy. So they are poems about my childhood trauma, and that would be upsetting to a lot of people. I don't want to upset people. That's basically how that goes. So like there are Chill Nostalgia and Danu's Curse are the ones where like I'm gonna be very on recommending unless I know that there are certain things that you'll be okay with. And then, there are like universal, oh yeah, you'll be good with alpha beta poetry, go for it. Like, but um but that's the great thing about art and literature, that there are things that won't work for some people and others it will connect with. And I think you just have to be open about that. I see a lot of writers say like like they're marketing their books in a way that it is borderline lying, and then they're surprised about their reviews and feedback. And it's like, well, yeah, if you say that it's a romance where it's happy go lucky, but it's a dark romance and there's kidnapping and there's SA, that's not, you just, what are we doing here? And
Yeah.
I've seen that a number of times, and it's just, that's not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be honest and say, these two things, these two books of mine, probably not for you, but here's other ones. And like, it goes back and forth. It just depends.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, you've got some very different genres going, so you can definitely do that. Nicole, do you speak English?
No, I can barely speak English half the time.
Lori 6 points. What's going on, Bubs? What's going on? What's happening? Oh,
So cute.
that's over there. Okay. Can you sit back down though, Bubs? All right. Glorious Exploits won Waterstone's debut fiction novel in 2024. Crude whimsical, but with a lot of heart too. 412 BC. I want to move to the West Coast, so it's easier to learn Gaelic. They don't teach it in school.
Yeah.
Jenny. No, we're really behind. Let me catch up here. Crude, my kind of bug. Oh, hey, Farah. How are you? Probably gone again already. We're so far behind. He's saying hi. Cole, are you familiar with Shauna Lawless' The Gale Song, historical fantasy circa 1000 AD Ireland?
Yes. I haven't read it though. It's a trilogy.
Should she read it, Heidi? Heidi, that's so cool about the Poldark novels. I have to look into those. Yeah. Nicole, how do you market your books? What type? Rage is looking for advice.
Yeah, but this. I asked you this earlier, didn't I? So I think it might have been before Brian turned up.
Yeah, it's going to depend on your genre and how many books you have, and also just what you want to do. Don't do stuff that you don't like. So I'm not on TikTok. I'm never going to be on TikTok. I'm also not going to ever be on Instagram. But there are people that love those apps. And it's really about what do you love to do that can then be turned into marketing your books. And also not like you need to connect with people, like make genuine connections and not just, you know, say, hey, what's up? Okay, here's my book info. You need to go get that. Like, if someone did that to me, I'm like, bye-bye. No. Like, you're just trying to make cash. So, but look, there are people that want, their goal is to make 6 and 7 figures, and that would be writing to sell. So you also have to think, what am I in this like artistic spheres, or do I even think it's art? You know, because they're like writing to sell. There are some writers that are write to sell that think their books are art, but there are others where there's like, I'm in lit RPG and I'm making you know, 7 figures. I don't care. You know, I just want the money. So no offense to lit RPG. It's just that the trend right now is you can make, if you study the market, you have the on point cover, on point title series, put it in the right category, the tropes. You've read, like, let's say 50 other lit RPG books, and you've listed all the tropes, and you know the writing beats, and you know where all the lit RPG readers and writers hang out, and then you slap together a lit RPG book. Yes, you can make thousands upon thousands of dollars, but that's like right to sell versus right to market is a lot of people have different thoughts on what right to market means. But what I say when I say right to market, that is, you are fulfilling the beats and reader expectations within a genre, or else, I mean, the book's not in the genre and it's kind of just floating, right? So what the easiest example is romance. Let's just go broad romance. You have the characters meet, they get together, something breaks them up, and they have a happily ever after. That's the beats that must be in a romance to make it capital R romance genre. If you don't have those, especially the happily ever after, you don't have a romance. So that's the reader expectations. You're hitting the beat. You've now, you know, written to market. Congratulations. Right?
Yeah. Well, and you have to make sure you name it like something to the effect of A House of Fist and Flames, right? You gotta give it a title like that.
That's romantic. Yeah. Well, yeah, like when you go broad romance, those are the beats, but then you want to like drill down into subgenres, and they also have expectations, you know? So you do have to do some type of research. Now, if you don't want to do that, you just want to write what's in your heart, that's a passion project. I totally understand. Some of my books would be considered passion projects, but then you have to like curb your expectations a little bit.
In terms of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people, like, if you just want to release your passion project, that's 1,000 words, and like you have like 4 different genres, kind of like a blending, and you have like 10 POVs, whatever. But that's for family and friends and for yourself. Fantastic. But don't think that you can like push it, like you publish it on Amazon and you're like, I'm gonna make thousands of dollars. That's not anything at all.
Yeah.
Like the right to sell, the right to market, everyone, you know, making money or like success or have a cult class following or anything like that, they are working behind the scenes. There's a lot of work. It's just not, oh, here, I'm gonna be big. You have to work at it.
Yeah.
And so I do have to remind a lot of writers about what are your expectations and your goals. I can't tell you. I'm not you. You have to sit down and you have to really think about that. Or else, you know, when you get like $1 in Kindle Unlimited reads, you're like, oh, I suck. No, you just didn't, you know, you kind of like, you didn't make a plan. And like, what are your expectations? What do you want? That's like a soul search type of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But you do have to do it, and painters have to do it. And basically everyone, you know, go do that. Just a little soul searching. You might cry. You might, you might need some coffee just to spark that up. You might have to visit a therapist. Hello, hi. But it's worth it. It's a long run.
All right. Diane, I think there are $5 over the first 2. Just watch a show only. Is that the Poldarks talking about, or?
Yeah, I think it's Paul. Yeah, it's Paul Dark.
Okay. Hey, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
Everybody saying hi. Heidi, I know everything. Hello from Florida. Oh, hey, Ice. Ice just moved to Florida.
Oh, cool.
How are you after the hurricanes? Yeah. Ice drove right into the second hurricane. Florida here, Gareth. State of Florida. It's very hurricane prone.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
got hit by 2 pretty serious hurricanes right in a row.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Olive is enjoying her treat. Hurricane missed my area, thankfully.
That's
Just
good.
give me rains. Do you get nervous using European lore in your? You get nervous using European lore in your books? That's for you, Nicole.
No, you just research.
Yeah.
I know there are people that would prefer there are certain tales of like one god is the mother of this, or like one goddess is the mother of this god, but then like in another version they're married, and then in another version they're not married, but like they have sexy time all the time. Like, what version are you going to pick? Right? So, and it could be, any of them, because the Celts in general did not write things down. So then it's all word of mouth, and so things change over time. And then you also had the Catholic, the Irish Catholic monks, kind of most likely changing and censoring certain things. So what we have now, it might not be what the Irish people of 500 BC believe, but we have no idea. So, like, for a lot of situations, when you get like further and further back, I hope this is as close as we're gonna get, but I have no proof that it is. So you kind of just have to accept that uncertainty.
I think that's not unusual for these. I think with any of these older polytheistic religions, you get a lot of that. I read a book a little while back called Did you read Battling the Gods, Gareth?
Yes, I love that
Yeah.
book. Yeah, it's one of my favorite books I've read recently.
Yeah. And so, did you read that, Nicole? Yeah.
No.
It's a nonfiction book, and it mostly focused on ancient Greek gods, but a lot of what that book was about was in those sort of older polytheistic religions, it was talking a lot about how things used to be and how things have evolved to the more very, very fundamentally different type of monotheistic religions we have today. And these older polytheistic religions tended to be more localized and personalized, right? So that you would have the same God in this town would be very different from the God that was in this town, and they might be, I don't even remember, but they might be married to something different.
And they were flawed and very human, weren't they? The gods.
They were very flawed and very human, right? They're right.
They actually fight them physically sometimes as well in the tales.
But you tended to. It was very common to have, so much was embedded in localized mythology, so it was very common to have very different, not very different, but somewhat different versions of the same deity.
Yeah.
But
and there's a lot of incest. I don't know what's up with like, y'all need to chill, but okay.
I don't remember reading a lot about that in on the Gods, but I don't know what books you've been reading, Nicole, but
Hera and Zeus are brother and sister.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think with Greek retellings, and because that's like a whole subgenre that it's really popular, and I think because like Greek and Rome are just popular overall, so I think some people a lot of people understand that there's going to be some messed up stuff in there, right? Okay, but then there's I was reading like the Persephone and Hades, they're all dark dark romance fantasy, because what does Hades do to Persephone? Okay, like, well, actually in different versions it might be different, but like it's not great. But at that point, that's different versions have different slightly different like endings, and like it'll be a little different. But yeah, Hades dragged Persephone down and to hell, and like that was a forced marriage.
Yeah.
And so what happens with the forced marriage? Like that's why it's dark fantasy romance, right? So that's kind of like the topic in Daniel's Curse is a forced marriage, and then what happens in a forced marriage. I mean, so like, but you see that all the time, and that was arranged marriages, forced marriages were normal for thousands of years. So of course it's going to be in the mythology because that was real life. Not so much the incest, but actually with the ancient Greeks, or the ancient Egyptians, yes, there was if you were a pharaoh, they preferred the marriage between the brothers and the nieces and all that stuff. So not of range, but like for the most part, like the forced marriages, arranged marriages, that was very popular. That was happening. It was normal. So now it's not for a lot of people. And so then people don't understand that for thousands of years it was normal, and it you wouldn't say forced. It was just arranged. It was a business transaction, and even that people struggle a lot with. And so then when they get hit with like mythology and folklore that's like really, really dark, and it's it was part of a culture and society.
It wouldn't have been seen as dark then, would it? It would have been seen as normal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's things that people have to grapple with. I think for like a lot of genres, not just fantasy, like historical fiction. Not the greatest for many, many people, but are we going to not have historical fiction? No, because you should talk about the crap that happened, and let's make it better, and we continue to fight to make it better. Let's not forget. But I know it's hard. Like a lot of stuff is hard to read, and a lot of stuff is hard to write. But yeah, I think books are a safe way. Film, I think our brains aren't used to film. Like, so you see an assault happening, but like you kind of know it's like you're in a movie theater, like but then you're like your basic instincts. I don't think we're not there yet of really seeing that the assault on a TV screen in a movie that's not real, but it's real. It's not like it's happening to the actor or actress, but it's not. Whereas a book, it's in your mind.
Yeah.
Put it down, and it's not like a real actor or actress going through it, but not going through it. Like it's a very odd.
So you feel like it's more affecting in a book?
I think it's safer in a book. I think there are it's absolutely, I think, for most people tougher to watch like an SA on a TV screen versus you're reading it in a book because they are acting out the SA. in real life, but it's not. But the body doesn't necessarily understand it for the actor slash actress, and that's hard to deal with. You can see that as an example with James Marsters, who played Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Seeing Red. It was like season 6. It was one of the later seasons, and the writers wrote in that Spike is like forces himself onto Buffy, and James Marsters had to go to therapy for years because he didn't do that, but like he did in a way, and it really messed him up. So I think of that example, and he talks about it a lot if you are interested in hearing about like that example. But yeah, I think seeing it on a TV screen is not as safe as reading, but even reading, because it's in your mind, the mind is the powerhouse of human beings, and though we are conscious beings, like we can detach, see ourselves.
Do you think we're also desensitized to what we watch as well? That we don't connect, we don't make it real like we would if we read it as well.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, because there are some people that like can watch, crazy stuff, but then like if it's like an audiobook, it's upsetting.
Yeah.
So it also depends. So I'm thinking like just in general, I like thinking from what I've heard from others and just personal experience, and then also thinking about like evolution. How long have we had to film and seen people on a screen that's acting out something? They're doing it, but they're not. Like, I don't know if our brain understands that.
Well, before that, you would have hundreds of years of theatre as well, wouldn't you? That sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's at least in person. Like, yeah, like you're in person seeing it happen, so it's like you're not too far away, hypothetically, from the theater. And I don't know how. I don't think theater was so graphic. All like the special effects with blood and stuff, and like
no, it would have been more stylized, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so like we're getting the film has gotten very, very graphic, and I don't know if people can completely comprehend that it's fake, because they do a fantastic job making it that it's as realistic as possible. So like, oh yeah, that person, that character's brain is showing because they had like a horrible accident, and like it's not someone's brain, but they're so great at CGI and stuff that like, oh my god, I saw a brain. No, I didn't. Wait, but no, I didn't. I did it. It's like a weird back and forth. I don't know. I have problems with some movies. I can't fit. I could not finish The Exorcist, and I'm not ever watching Lolita. Right? There are just some
Well,
things.
it's funny because you're talking about that whole idea of suspending your suspension of disbelief as well. Yeah. And it's funny with horror stuff when you'll complain about something, some minor detail, but you're quite willing to accept like a zombie or something. But you'll be like, oh, but that's stupid when they did this other thing that you thought wasn't realistic. But you're quite happy to take the general conceit about zombies. Do you know what I mean?
I say often humans are smart and stupid at the same time.
Yeah.
I can have an existential crisis because I saw a leaf during fall season fall a certain way. Yes, that has happened before. I also have a lot of mental illnesses though, but like besides that, I can have a existential crisis of how a leaf fell onto the on the cement, and like the beautiful sun rays just hit it a certain way. And then I can cry for like an hour. Does that make any sense logically? No, it does not. And then I go like, Nicole, what are we doing here? Coping mechanisms. Do I need to speak to my therapist? Like, but then you can have like some other like, oh, it's very important that I turn on my left blinker because I don't want to get hit. But then there's other people that are like, I'm not going to turn on my blinker. And then they get hit. And they're like, I don't understand why I got hit by a car. Did you put on your blinker? Did you signal? No, I didn't. I just didn't. I didn't want to. Like, that's also like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, common sense or rational thinking would be turn on the blinker to turn left. So everyone's clear. Driving's very dangerous. But there are so many people that don't put on their blinkers. And it freaks me out. I don't like driving. That's the point. Okay, my Adderall has run out. If you have noticed.
When he talked about the leaf falling from the tree, it reminded me of there's a scene right at the end of Monty Python's The Meaning of Life when it's like animation thing. It's Terry Gilliam's animation, and they go, no, I can't take it, and then one of the leaf just does this, like starts falling down very slowly, and then another one goes, no, I can't believe he's gone, and then they start doing that, and so it just reminded me of that sketch in The Meaning of Life.
Maybe that was in my unconscious. It's like bringing this forth, and that's why I had an existential crisis about life. Like, again, the human brain is really weird. I see that all the time with myself, and then just advocacy work and getting into psychology, and like you could hit your head a certain way at a certain angle really hard, or like really soft, whatever, and like you could have a personality change. Like, life is just it's weird. That's what I like to say, because weird can go either way.
Yeah.
Let me catch you up here. Hold on. So Jenny thought that the echo was her stomach growling. How far behind we are. Gareth, either chipmunk voice or bikers. Yeah, you always got some issue there, Gareth.
I've got to make the show interesting, mate. Do you know what I mean? We try our best.
Gareth needs a new phone. We got to take up a collection so we can all get Gareth a new phone. Colin Gaelic for Ireland. Unfortunately, everyone mixes us up.
Yeah, Gaelic is Scottish, and then Gaelic is Irish, and then
okay.
Like you say, Gaelic languages, Celtic. It's a little complicated, but like you could say Irish or Gaelish. Gaelish is the Irish term, and then Irish is the translated term into English. But at least Welsh is Welsh. Yeah.
I mean, well, the Celtic lands were in Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and Cornwall, wasn't it?
There's Isle of Man, and there's Brittany as well. There's 7 nations. Yeah. I don't know what language. I think Brittany just speaks French.
Yeah, it's got Gaelic tradition.
Yeah. But
just their traditional music is very Gaelic in Brittany.
Yeah, and then there's like a little subsection, and I learned this in Spanish class. You learn something new every day. In Spanish class, there's like in Spain, which is they have like their own accents and how they speak different than Latin America, right? And then you could see like at the teeny top in the little corner of Spain, my Spanish teacher was like, yeah, they speak like something different. It's like and then I looked it up. It's based like
I mean, the Basque country. Do you mean the Basque country?
I guess this was a while ago.
Yeah, that's a small bit of Spain. Yeah.
Where it's like they're not like Spanish, because the Gaul, like if you think, like there's like Gaul would be like, if you took out what we know now, Gaul was France, Portugal, Spain, like a huge chunk where the Celts were, and then they spread, and so like it makes sense in a funny way, where there's like a little bit in a little section in Spain where it does not make sense,
Yeah. I used to teach music, which is like lots of different traditional music from around the world. I used to do a unit on it in my music lessons, and I used to talk about the 3 different areas of Spain. So you got like Andalusia with the flamenco,
Mm. Yeah.
Now you got the chipmunk voice too. We got best of all worlds tonight. Brian, thanking you for the advice. Nicole didn't even know what lit RPG is. That is one big beverage. Where is the tea? Elaine
I
wants to
know.
know where the tea is.
I know. If I had tea, there'd be even more stuff staying in my throat. So, yeah, I've got some cleansing fluid.
So Diane wants to know if you consider poetry readings from each. Sorry, I'll be right back. Hold on. What's the matter with you? I'll be right back. Go ahead. Go, Nicole.
Okay.
What?
Oh my. Diane said, Nicole, have you or would you consider doing poetry readings for your chat books, maybe for Poetry Thursdays? I have in the past, but like they got 10 views. So then I'm just like, I don't know if people want it. Right? I'm sure
It's
you know.
tough, isn't it? Yeah, you do something on the channel because you like the idea, and then nobody watches it and think, "Oh, should I do it? Does it look like I'm just after views if I don't do it?" And it's like,
Yeah.
but surely I'm doing this so people watch them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had like The Secret of Nim. She bought my chat books and she'll read them, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
that I think that's better because it's like, like that type of organic type of thing instead
Yeah.
of being like, here's 50 videos of me and my poetry. Like, I don't have 50 videos. I think maybe like, I think it's 6, maybe 7 poetry readings. That was for last year for National Poetry Month because I was getting a lot of people saying, "Ooh, I mean, like you have 4 chat books. Like, what do you do? Like, why are you not sharing?" And so I'm like, "I'll try anything." And so yeah, they got like 10.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
poetry reading scheduled up actually for 2025. So I've done the
Oh.
occasional one. Yeah, but nobody watches them. But I've done a few, but not of mine. I did out of all the ones I've done one of me reading my own poetry, but it's just me
Mhm.
reading poetry. Yeah.
Yeah, poetry's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very niche. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
I
and
think I keep reading. I'll read like 10 poems that I don't like, and then a few that I love. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like it's so easy to find just exercises in wordplay where they're just like messing around with a thesaurus, and then
yeah,
you'll find another poem that really hits you, and you go, "That was brilliant," you know.
yeah, yeah. Um, I know for like Teal Nostalgia, where all like 80% is like poems from trauma therapy. That was very helpful. And when there were some people, I guess they saw that there was. I don't think I even have that many like reviews on Teal Nostalgia, but someone mentioned that there was one where this person couldn't relate, and I'm like, I'm glad that she couldn't relate, honestly. Um, if you think about it, I
Yeah,
mean, that,
yeah.
so poetry is just really hard, because you're really digging deep for like.
Well, I was going to say when you were talking about this before, and you were talking about like trigger warnings almost about some of the content. And my first poetry book has got a thing about suicide in it, and it's got a thing about child abuse as well. There's a few about that, but I didn't think about putting any kind of trigger warning or whatever. I just felt like, I do say on the back that it covers lots of areas, including depression and stuff. But
I think that's like a content warning. Yeah,
yeah, um,
I don't have.
I always feel like poetry, you're kind of going into that area anyway, and something could be a little bit sensitive.
Yeah, and well, also like horror. So I'm on the hill of, if you want to, like, it's your book, absolutely. Therefore, you can uh, put trigger or content warnings anywhere, or you don't. I don't think it should be mandatory. And how would you make it mandatory, right? Like, I don't, I don't think how you can make, especially for indie writers, how are you going to make that mandatory? Now, like, I think maybe you see it a lot with horror. Like viewer discretion is advised 18 plus. Yeah, that's good. You know, I would say don't read Till Nostalgia if you can't handle SA, suicide, depression, alcoholism, like that's all in there. But I have like a introduction within the book that says like don't move forward if you can't, if these things that upset. But I don't have it for my other ones. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Teal Nostalgia that could trigger an actual panic attack. So that's why I would do that, because it's right in your face versus like, even though uh, there are some people I wouldn't recommend Daniel's Curse to. It's your it's like a moral discussion slash conversation, you know, of like mythology, history. How do we deal with this? Like, you know, versus like, here's a poem about suicide. Right? Like, there's a difference here, man. Like, you're just like whacked in the face. You're like, okay, nope, I don't like that. And I totally get it. I'm like, hello, hi, yes. You know, I had that when I was 10 years old. But through trauma therapy, I worked through why I was on the verge of suicide at 10. So like there's a point, but it's still really freaking hard. It like nuance. It Lots of things are hard. Does that mean that you don't talk or write about it? No, but like what else, you know, can you do to like help those if you want to, you know, kind of good around that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose also with poetry, you don't want to say too much about each poem because someone else might read something else into it as well.
Yeah.
So you might be talking about something really deeply upsetting for yourself, and they might be getting something else from it anyway.
Yeah, and that's you know, the art is subjective, and I think I take more seriously when people say for that chat book, oh, I really related to that, because that's a sign that's not like, it's not like a very happy chat book, and I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that. But then they follow up with saying I didn't feel alone, and you really opened my eyes, and thank you for writing it. So you have the I related to this chat book, but it helped. And I take that more seriously than, oh, I couldn't relate, 2 stars or 1 star or whatever. I'm like, I'm glad you couldn't relate, right? Because I did not have a great childhood. I was very traumatized. I barely got out, honestly. And it was years and years and years of therapy. But now look where I am now. These poems are, you know, a stepping stone to like the last poem where it says, spoiler alert, it's I have no poems left to give because I'm healed. And that was the last like one-liner brevity poetry that I wrote. And that was, I think, almost 4 years now. So I don't write poetry anymore. I just kind of grew up writing out the feelings and trying to figure out what I was feeling. Did they all make sense? No, they did not. But it was very cathartic. And so like, the poems are cathartic. And now, you know, we have placed that aside and we're moving on. But I didn't want any of my chat books, but especially the fourth one, to just sit on my computer, because I've had so many people say, yeah, I relate, but you really helped. And I think that's really important. And you could like even like a fiction novel that has nothing to do with trauma or anything like that. It could be so comforting that it helps someone. So you know that's that's also a great thing about art and books. I think it's a safe place for many people.
She asked us a while ago. Hopefully, she's still here. She wanted to know who encouraged you as a young writer when you were starting out, and have you ever participated in any kind of writer groups?
My mom and grandparents really helped me out. They never said don't do it. Just have a plan and like well, basically the plan is, can you support yourself and then do what you love and like you work towards um if you want to, making a career out of your art, but you don't have to. There's a lot of people that like a lot of writers who have a full-time job and they write, but they make, they're very successful at the writing, but they don't want to quit their job.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably where I'm at.
There's a lot of great people like that from stock, a lot of musicians like that as well.
Yeah. And but then there's some people that
Like Gareth.
Yeah, and there's some people that were like, I can't wait to quit my job and become a full-time author. Like that's like their goal, like moving them forward. That's not really my goal, but yeah, everyone's different. And yeah, as for writers groups, I don't. I was in a poetry class, which was amazing. And then I was in a short story class, which was horrible. So the professor was, that's it. And so then I was like, oh, it's like 50-50. Like, what? I don't know. Do I go into a writing group for books? I don't want to have I don't want to attribute what I was feeling with short stories to novels, because like I write novels, and my brain associates stuff with weird things, so I do have to be careful. So I didn't do writers groups. So like I had beta readers, which was kind of different, but like beta readers for my books, and then editors, mini editors. So I don't do writing groups, but I'm friends with a lot of writers, and I've gone down the beta reading, developmental editing type of road, which is not a group, but like I've had, pre-publication people have seen the messy drafts and said, here's the stuff you need to fix, or you shouldn't publish, right? Just fix it up, and then you'll be good to go. Yeah, I get that. And if someone is like, if something's not published, then you can, well, I mean, as an indie writer, you can actually technically change a book however you want. But like
Gareth does that. Gareth does that all the time.
Yeah, I've had three editions of my first story, my short story.
Yeah, why not? And like
that first one where like his formatting is like half the words are like missing from the page. That was worth a fortune. It's first edition.
Yeah,
you can't get that anymore.
Yeah, it was enormous as well. It's like, what have I done? Yeah. Oh, formatting doesn't end. My first version of it was a mess about 5 times.
Yeah, but like how I take it, like if someone says, okay, so here's the like a plot hole, and they describe it, that's constructive criticism. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. All right. But if someone reads like a beta reader, and I haven't had this happen, but I've heard sad stories of where someone volunteers for a beta read, and they like all they leave is, this book sucked. Okay, well then you're just a bully.
That's not helpful.
No, it's not that helpful. And then like, so you're just a bully. Don't listen to them. There's difference. I know like a lot of writers are very scared about sharing their work But it's necessary, I think.
Yeah.
Like at least with like you have a relationship with your editor, that's enough. You don't need 50 beta readers,
But,
but
but it is expensive to pay for a proofreading or an editing process, isn't it? I had my last
yeah,
novel. I had a friend do it, and he did it for free, which was amazing. But I felt
yeah,
kind of guilty as well.
yeah,
I'd like him to do my next one, but I'm afraid of asking him. But he was brilliant.
yeah.
He gave me so much information. It's like, Christ, if I hadn't given it to him, it would have been terrible because he
Is,
kept sending back loads of things like, oh, there's this, there's that, there's this. So he
is
was
he a
good.
writer?
He just he's had a lot of experience of proofreading, but he's not a writer himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He just offered to do it. It was great. I said online on Facebook or something I was writing a book. He just sent me a message saying I can proofread it if you want, as a favor.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
yeah, it was really good.
Probably said his sales expectations came pre-curved.
Yeah.
Saying hi. How long before Olive walks over Dave to get her own treats? Right? She'd be very aggressive before. She was like right
Yeah,
on
when
top
she
of me.
was
You
right,
see
when
that?
she was right in the front, I don't know. I've got an overactive imagination, but I thought she was going to jump into my square.
Yeah, oh, it seemed like it. Uh-oh. I think she heard you. She's just
Uh-oh.
popped up now.
He's on her way.
She was like, she's usually pretty calm in these things. I don't know. I think people don't believe me when I say that she's like a nut job, off screen. Like Dave was saying earlier, he's giving
Sorry
Olive.
to bring it out in Olive.
She looked a bit manic when she was ordering those dirty
Yeah.
books.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. She couldn't control herself.
That's it. Yeah.
Diane thinks you're sweet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I love that she's booping Dave and getting ignored. I wonder what she was so excited about. So yeah, it's the popcorn. She loves it when I break that out. If I ever say, "Hey, all right, you guys will probably like this too." October, I'm like, I don't watch. I try to devote most of my time to books, but in October, I just make sure I allocate enough time to horror and horror movies and stuff. So it's a lot nicer. I'll be like, okay, we're gonna watch a horror movie. She's like, because she knows that means she's getting popcorn.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, these are all about you, Olive. Popping back in. How was the comment? Saw the comment finally.
Ooh, yeah.
Thanks. My hands got cold, but got some great photos. Feisty Olive. Boy, everybody went and watched the comment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a comment.
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
Jenny likes it when we order goes funny. I did it for Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is doubly funny tonight. You got all sorts of things going on with her.
I'm on form.
I'm gonna get you a mic for Christmas. I think you got an iPhone, Gareth.
No, it's a Samsung.
Samsung. I'll see. There you go.
I can't afford an iPhone. I'm not like you're like a lawyer or something. I can't afford an iPhone.
Oh, hey, Christopher. Oh, we're catching up. We're catching up.
Ooh,
Woo!
Writing is therapy. I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there.
thank you.
Amazing that you can talk about your past and that you're so open to share emotional. Yeah, it is.
I do like a recent one of my the sun is setting. We have an existential crisis. The sun is hitting ever so slightly on my face. I have a recent video that I uploaded. It's not about books, though there are books in it. If you are in need of mental health or mental illness resources, that's on my channel. Most of them are free or cheap. So I do that like randomly on occasion. Oh, good. No, I'm just gonna sit right here.
That's perfect.
Yeah, be really stiff. Because I do mental health advocacy work in person and online, and then my mom's a psychotherapist, so I grew up with that and been in therapy since 4. We're really rocking it. And I've been recovered and subclinical for 5 years now. I just have like a bunch of resources. So I did release all of my resources in a recent video for anyone that needs it, or anyone who's interested. But yeah, I don't have. It's always up to the person, always up to the person. But I don't have any issue sharing.
Do you still find you're dealing with the trauma now?
Yeah, that it will never go away.
Yeah.
But when people say I've healed, it's more so I've accepted what happened and it doesn't hurt as much. There are still lingering things. Like I can't play Bejeweled. I don't even know if that game is around, but that's a trigger. I can't play Bejeweled. I think that's the biggest one. And like they can just be so random. But I know like there are people that I've worked with because it's usually SA victims where like if they see someone in a Hawaiian shirt, they're triggered and they go into the psychosis because the perpetrator was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, right? So like the brain just associates really sometimes random stuff. And so, but healing is knowing your triggers and healing from the reaction, like the automatic reaction, and knowing this is, I'm feeling like I'm going into a different time. Because when you have a panic attack, your brain sees a trigger and it doesn't understand that you're here, right? So you're going somewhere else. But you need to bring like healing is you're bringing yourself back, and like you want to go backwards, but you need to bring yourself to the present. And actually, the Hunger Games did a really good job. There's a lot of grounding techniques.
A lot of what?
Grounding techniques.
Okay.
Yeah, that you see in the Hunger Games that well, you don't need to just have trauma to have grounding techniques, but a lot of people with mental illnesses and trauma will use grounding techniques to bring you back to the present. And Bookstalgic, I think I have read The Body Keeps the Score. That's a recommended book of mine that did save my life. Yeah. Fantastic. Bessel van der Kolk is amazing. It is triggering because he does give examples. So there's a lot of uncomfortable scenarios, but I think those are needed, especially for people that don't necessarily know how that gets in, what is the definition of trauma, examples of it, what is the after effects, and how it's stored in the body, and then how to heal it. So go in knowing that there are going to be upsetting things, but The Body Keeps the Score is like top tier about trauma and PTSD. Yeah, also Waking the Tiger by Peter A. Levine. For a long time, really like recently, we were forgetting the mind-body connection. The mind is the powerhouse of human beings. You can't separate them. So unresolved trauma and just really trauma is stored in the body. And Peter A. Levine did fantastic work on kind of acting out the scenario of trauma. That's very specialized, but that's a fascinating book of examples. Like he gave one example of this indigenous person almost fell into the water and drowned, but it wasn't. In a way, it wasn't like he survived, but it wasn't finished because he didn't in a way didn't save himself. It's not a logical, rational type of situation. Emotions and feelings are not that. They're very separate. Doesn't, always make sense, but for him, he couldn't get near water. He couldn't, like, he would just panic. And he was saved. He didn't understand. But then Peter, went through the scenario. And so then they acted out him saving himself. And then his symptoms lessened and we call subclinical. So you have little to no symptoms, all because that tension of, oh my God, I almost drowned and I could not save myself. Someone else had to save me. The brain did not get it. He didn't get it, and it was stuck in him. So every time he was near water, he was like, okay, I can't save myself. I can't save myself. I'm going to drown. I'm going to drown. But acting that out in a scenario with a professional is what saved this particular Indigenous person. Also because that's part of their culture, being near water. So you know how like difficult that would be. Like you live on the water, so you're panicking every second of every day. That's not a life. That's not. That's really miserable. And Peter's acting out in a safe way, of course, of trauma was very new, and he pushed back on that. And it's not for everyone, but now it's very much known that the trauma is in the body, and so have to, like, you can't just push it aside. And I see Constance, EMDR. I did EMDR. That saved my life. I mention EMDR all the time whenever I can. I think they changed it a little bit. So because I'm seeing like some like newer specialists saying you only need it a couple of times. When I did it was I brought up one horrible traumatic memory with my therapist, and we did it. Every session for quite a few sessions, it was that one memory for the full 55 minutes of that session until the memory did not sting anymore. So I have a lot of memories, but they don't hurt. They're not going to make me panic. I don't leave my body, so to speak. So for EMDR, you are focusing on one memory at a time, over and over and over again until it doesn't hurt anymore. I don't know. They're like, it seems like they're doing it differently based on the conversations I'm having lately.
So I feel like I should know this, but what is that an acronym for?
Oh, it's very long. It is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Huh.
We just shortened that to EMDR because that's a lot. What I was in it, I think it is changing a little bit. I don't know for good or for worse. From the people that I'm talking to, it's not too much. It's not in depth. But what I was doing years ago was you're doing the infinity symbol. The therapist is doing the infinity symbol, and I am supposed to look at the infinity symbol at every movement. That's the eye movement, and he is saying, "What's the worst memory that you have?" And so I say, "Okay, I saw a dead body. What does that make you feel?" I feel sad. What else? Angry. What else? Scared. And you just keep going over and over again for a full 55 minutes, however many sessions it is. And then you get to like that, the last session, and like, what's your association now? It's different from what it was before. And then you move on to another traumatic memory, and you keep going. So this trauma therapy, I have to remind so many people, this is long. It's a long, hard, scary, frustrating, anger-inducing process. The first time, no, not the first. There was a especially really bad memory that I had, and it was the first session of that memory. My husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, picked me up, and it was so bad that I hid under the counter because it was dark and it was enclosed and it was safe, and I was shaking so hard, and he's looking for me in this hotel room. He's like, Nicole, where are you? I can't speak. I am seeing black spots. I cannot function. And he pulls me out of the bottom of this counter, and he has to hold me for a good 20 minutes, and he's touching me, which is a grounding technique, and he's saying, you're in 2019, you're in a hotel room, I am James, you are Nicole. And it was 20 minutes of that. So, and I know when I share that, people are like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, yes, but where am I at now? I'm subclinical. I'm married. I have a full-time job. I am happy. My mental illnesses do not affect me whatsoever. And if I do have a stressor that it will trigger, let's say OCD, because I have that as well, or PTSD or anything of that nature, I know exactly what to do. And it takes a really long time. And it's really, it's scary. But I was at a point where it's death, or I just give up. And I lie in bed. What are we doing here? And like, there has to be something more. There is something more. I see so many people happy. I hate myself and I hate everyone around me. I hate the world, but that's not what I'm seeing for other people. So something needs to change, and I need to get help. And that was the 6-year journey. And now, when I see other people, like struggling, like someone, I kind of realized that on my own, but I could have gone faster, So that's why I'm pretty open, and I do advocacy work, because sometimes you have to say, you're in a really bad space right now, and I suggest help.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to talk about it at the beginning, but you can talk about it now because you're at the other end, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So instead of someone going through all the stuff that I had to go through and I figured out by myself, at least with like the advocacy work that I do, I say, here's your situation right now. You need help. It's going to get worse. How do I know? I was there, and I've seen hundreds of people like you before. I can give you the resources. I can point you in the right direction. I can say that it's going to suck. It is going to suck. You're going to be terrified. You're going to be angry. You're going to be depressed. I totally get it. But you know what? At the end, you're going to be a new person. Like a new person of you. Like, you're going to change so much that you're like, wow, that's amazing. I did all of that, and I'm still here. And that's really healing. And I see so much hurt going on that it's hard not to say something. That's why I share as much as I can without breaking privacy stuff. And that video on my channel took 4 hours, but if it helps just a couple of people, well, their lives are completely changed. They're like, yes, it's worth it. And that's kind of, like me releasing the chat books. I could have just put it in my desk and just let it sat there for the rest of my life. Or I release them, and then I have, on occasion people say, well, that's really amazing. Thank you for releasing that. And then I had, which I didn't expect, because it doesn't have to be hard-hitting books either. Obsidian Murders, which is the urban fantasy book, someone I know said, well, I was sitting with my friend who's going through chemo, and I read the book to her, and at first I didn't think that she was listening, but then, when I stopped, she said, no, keep going. Keep going. I want you to finish. And then at the end, she said, can you send me that book? It was really nice. I didn't want to laugh because like it hurt, but like I want to read it again to laugh. And I'm like, That's why you do it. That's why you do the things. Artists, that's why you do the things.
Yeah.
You bring it all back. That's why you do it. You bring happiness, you bring hope, you bring just anything positive. And you're like,
yeah. I want to mention that, but hold on. Let me just get
yeah.
Constance needed it more than once. First time,
Yeah.
especially helpful. Okay.
Mhm.
That was just, they were just saying what it was. That's for you, Nicole.
Thank you. Also grace and compassion is big as well. That's hard. That's a lifelong thing to work on for like everyone. You need to give yourself compassion. Yes, I messed up this time, but we're gonna keep going because I'm a human being. I don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect. Yes, that would be the goal. Like for those for SA victims. Uh, well, yeah, SA specifically has a tier where it's victim, survivor, warrior, and sometimes you see thriver, but it's kind of like the stepping stone of after being assaulted. Um, you are absolutely a victim, and then you move on to do the things you need to do. You're a survivor. Okay, we're like there's more here, and then you work really, really hard, and then you're thriving. All that is really hard. And you gotta keep going with the thriving because this is always you are changed forever, and you need to do things that people that do not have trauma or mental illnesses have to do. And I have a lot of people that say that's not fair. I'm like, yeah, it's not. It sucks. Yep. But you can do these lifestyle changes for the rest of your life, and you're gonna have a fantastic life. Which one? Like I have to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, so I'm on a sleep schedule. I have to be on a certain routine. I mean, it can change a little bit, but the brain needs the routine, or else it gets a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? um, have to exercise, cut back on sugar and carbs. Um, I have to limit caffeine because that can induce anxiety. I have to practice mindfulness every single second of every single day. And that's just staying present and not running with your thoughts or your feelings. And I have to also meditate, not every day, but we really want to just stay focused, connect the mind and the body, continue with therapy, and that's for the rest of my life, and some other things. So, like, those are good things. I don't need medication. I have Adderall. That's ADHD, though. But some people would have to add medication there. Maybe group therapy as well as individualized therapy. Maybe they need like 3 different specialists and they kind of go back and forth. There's a lot of things that are lifestyle changes, is what you would say. But I argue, I don't argue, I would argue that those are better than you slipping back and going into a level of you can't function anymore. But like that's a lot of work, and that doesn't necessarily like the neurotypical people, like those without mental illnesses or disorders or neurological disorders. Maybe they don't have to do that to stay, subclinical. Um, I mean, I think a lot of people would benefit, right? So it's like I like to frame it as lifestyle changes good for everyone. But specifically, you just have to add a bit more. Like I have to do 10 things instead of 5, but we're thriving. Like,
Yeah.
we are stronger than we think. Yeah, resiliency is amazing. I think I hear a lot of people say, I can't do it anymore. I'm like, you're doing it right now. It
Yeah.
sucks, but you're doing it right now. You're still alive right now. Every second that's passing. And then a lot of people will go, "Oh, that's true," and then they realize, wait, I am actually way more resilient and stronger than I think I am, because the last second was really, really hard, but now I'm in that a different second and another second, and oh, okay, wait, I've now focused on the present, and it's not as bad as I thought previously. A lot of that is, staying in the past or in the future, or just wrapped up in uh, feelings that you're that you have not processed, or you're stuck in them for various reasons. But that would be like mindfulness and meditation and therapy to really, you need to rediscover.
Yeah. So speaking of thriving,
Oh yeah.
So I am halfway through Obsidian Murders,
Oh,
and
I can see maybe like a thriving moment with Tessa.
no, I just meant you thriving.
Oh, I mean,
because you're writing some good shit.
Oh, thank you. I was like, well, we can totally get like the topic of thriving. We get it. I could bring that there. Yes, I can.
I'm really digging it. Can you hold it up? Hold it up there for everybody.
Oh yes, the urban fantasy. Yeah, that was a little different. Yeah.
What's he called? Detective mystery series, right?
Midnight Detective Agency.
Midnight Detective. Yeah.
Yeah, that it is, at least the first one is set right outside Washington, D.C. Yeah. And Tessa, the main character, can see other beings because her
so you're from there originally. That's how you know. That's how you know all those details about the streets. Okay.
Yeah. I got a little nug in there. Yeah. Bring in that realism, right? But she can see other beings because, well, as if you know about elves in particular, but like fairies and other beings, they get a little too close to humans. Not always in a good way, right? And so she has enough elven blood in her that she can see other beings, which in this series, I based it on my childhood where I grew up neo-pagan. So elves, mermaids, which is fairy, magic, different dimensions, they're all real, right? So I just put my knowledge in the urban fantasy world. Yeah, it was already there. I didn't even make a world. I didn't make up new anything. It's just what I believed for a very long time. Yeah. I'm so original. Now, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm only halfway through, but it's well, there's a couple cool things about it. I thought the characterization is great. You know what I mean? I like totally into the character so far. But it's so you just like watching your channel, you have that sort of like, you have that sort of dry humor, which is like, I like, totally my style. And so you totally do that really well. Like I keep chuckling reading this book. It's just interesting because I've read a couple things lately where people are trying to do that and they don't execute it very well, and you're just like, okay, that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny. That was fun. But yours is that's pretty witty. I'm really really enjoying it so far.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't try to be funny, but I just make people laugh. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah, but
don't laugh. I'm like, I'm freaking hilarious. That's just, like you have to laugh at some stuff or else you're like, you can get depressed fast, especially nowadays, right? Yeah, she has, well, many of them have some type of stuff going on. She does because she has to not share a big portion of her, or else people will think she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
So that is, you actually see that a lot in neo-paganism, Wiccan circles. Like, there are people that think that they can see into the future, or they see fairies, or there's, they see ghosts and all that stuff. But many of them will say, I don't share that with anyone because people will think that I'm crazy. Yeah, that was taken from real life. I have lots of friends that still are in that religion, and they don't say it at all. Because people think you think that you see ghosts. Okay. So with Tessa, she shared that when she was young, and she shared it with such like strength with her chest that they had to move out of the area. And she mentions it, not a spoiler, but she mentions that she had to see a therapist because they thought that she was hallucinating, right? But no, but like in this story, for real, there are elves, vampires, werewolves. They're real, but only a certain amount of people can see them. So that's why it's like the urban fantasy setting, and it's not like high fantasy or anything like that. I think that's fun with urban fantasy. It's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dresden. Yeah, like it's hidden, but like it's real. But most people wouldn't believe, they couldn't handle it. And I think that's an interesting dynamic to work with.
Yeah, mix of the real and the unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this series is like perfect for anybody participating in a Cult Detective October, right? I mean,
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. So you're part way done with the third book?
I just have 4 chapters left.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I just get it proofread.
Okay.
So,
and the second and third, they follow Tessa too?
Oh yeah, it's all Tessa and
Okay.
Bloodworth, the
Okay.
vampire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no switching or anything. We're really just I love Tessa and Bloodsworth, that like they're the main. Well, it's first person past
I mean, that's
tense.
kind of a spoiler because I didn't know if he'd survive or not, but that's okay.
No, he's good. I'll save you any anxiousness. They're all fine. Yeah.
Because I mean, there's some dying going on in this book, so I'm just saying.
There's some. Oh, if you think it's bad for the first book, you see the second and third. I don't know.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring in like what would happen if there's magic involved with murder. It's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah.
So you can do very interesting things. You got the magic in you, so might as well make a murder mystery of it, right?
Yeah, this is here. Let me just. So Elaine was heading out. Thanks, Elaine.
Thanks, Elaine.
Oops. Elaine. Yeah, it's fun. It's a very like I said, I'm only halfway through one book so far, but it's a very fun, easy read that's making me chuckle. It's kind of it's one of the more enjoyable things that I've read in a while. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I wanted like it's obviously, well, in a way it's serious because they're figuring out murders and all that stuff. So there is a seriousness to it. But then like from just like personal experience, after a certain point, like to cope, you're gonna just be like, this is just stupid, like, and just make a joke, right? And just to like get by so you don't cry. So that happens, it pops And then also just like Tessa has just seen something, right? And like after a certain point, you're like, I can't even. And like that's where like the dry humor comes in.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's a little more natural. Also because I have dry humor and really dark humor. Like that's just how that is. And I don't think a lot of things are like as dark as people think. Like I think The Nightmare Before Christmas is adorable. Okay, and like some people are freaked out. I think Tim Burton, like his stuff is just so cute. Like so I see things differently. Um, and I think that kind of comes out, especially with the urban fantasy. I can't really do that with like historical stuff.
No.
Like there's dated things, there's things that you have to abide by. But when you're writing modern stuff, especially in like the 21st century, yeah, you got like the internet, you've got memes, like you have like these funny stuff that you can add in there, and it doesn't have to be so serious all the time.
Yeah. Look at that question. You have to read the book, Constance. Maybe.
Well, yeah, maybe I have a ghost involved.
I really should be getting some sleep. I had you up at 7 for an open to close work shift, but these streams are too fun. Yes, they are, Jenny.
Yeah.
7, and there it's what time is it there? It's almost
Well, here,
11?
yeah, quarter to 2.
quarter to 2 there.
Oh, I was
It's
off.
just coming up on dinner time for Nicole.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's quarter to 2 in the morning. I'll tell you what I love about our show. Everyone is different. Everyone is so different, isn't it? I think because we've always got a different guest on it, but
yeah,
it's so different. It's cool.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, some of them drink from out of a nice little water bottle. Other a fantastic gothic. What is goblet?
It's a goblet. It's a dragon goblet.
Exactly.
Yes, I love that.
Well.
I want that, but I'll hold off. I've spent too much on books this month. Maybe for Christmas I will get a goblet. I'll show that. I will share that with you, Dave.
So how did your phone test go here, Garrett?
Well, it's actually because I've picked the right charger. It's still on 100%.
Oh,
So it's not even gone down a percentage. So I could be on here for hours. Except
well, you'd be here by yourself, but
well, yeah. Don't worry. I am. I'm not going to be here for hours. I suppose we've already been on for hours.
All right, so Nicole, so how many books you got out? You got 2, soon to be 3 of the detective, of the Midnight Detective series. You got, maybe we just put them all up there. You got, oh, okay.
Hold on.
So you got,
we've got. This is a really.
Yeah.
So let's just break them up.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, I could have done that before. That's fine. We've got so the 4 chat books, I made them a similar cover, so it's like these are the chat books, right? Like you can tell. Marketing, hi. They all are the same. The one that
those are beautiful covers.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about the most is this one.
Yeah.
That would be a content warning. This one is pretty universal, like that. That is alphabet poetry. So it's every letter of the alphabet, and I can only use that one letter for the first sentence or the first word, right? So let's say, for example, fast F's, just as because it can kind of get confusing. Fast F's, fast flickering flash, further featured fights, flying fleeting fluff, forever factitiously fallible. that one. And yes, they all make sense. You just have to pull out a dictionary. That's legit what I did for you. I pulled out a dictionary, and then I had the book. No, I had the document, had the dictionary, and then I think, I had this another one, I think synonyms, because I'm not even adding like connecting words. It all has to be just that one letter. So I was sitting down making meticulous, just focused on each word, and if you look up each word, it makes sense with the poem and the word before and after it, because I can't add and, if, like that type of stuff. So it does make sense. People say it does not. If you pull out a dictionary, though, it does. That was a lot of thought. Textual love is for the romantics. Actually, I could not, for the life of me, get this to get in people's minds that it was nonfiction. So it's actually 90% text messages from my husband, and then the other 10% are like connecting into a story, and it's basically just one-liners. I guess they read just so poetic that people didn't believe that my husband wrote the text messages.
Wow.
They were like, it can't be real. I'm like, it is. So I obviously just need to make it like if the people are saying that it's a romantic poetry chat book, I'm gonna make it, because I have given up. Right? So, and then
that's really cool. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and then Paradise Found is brevity poetry. Nim actually read recently from it. She did a great job. It's just one-liner poems.
Okay.
So, and there's a little bit of the trauma therapy in this one, but I think you'll be fine. They're not like in depth. They're one line. Yeah. Where is the? Oh, yeah, Murderous Fairies and disappeared. I was like, I swear I have another book. The fairies got it. That's what happened. This is the Obsidian Fairies that you're reading, and that's the first in the Midnight Detective Agency, and that's the second one. This is in Santa Fe, and the first book is about dead witches, and we don't know why they're or dead women. There are witches involved. Who did it, right? And then you have Murderous Fairies, where 14 dead fairies end up on a man's lawn in Santa Fe. And we're going back on the idea of fairies are in a specific area, which would be like forest. So why would they be in the desert? Like that's the whole like weirdness of that. A Patriot's Tale is the historical fiction that, about the American Revolutionary War. We follow a young woman who's orphaned, and she will do whatever it takes to seek revenge. She becomes a spy. And then The Two Foxes is historical fantasy, and this is we follow Sarah, who can see into the future. So she is tried as a witch, and she has to decide if she stands up and fights, or that, or if she leaves. And then we go from there. Not trying to spoil. And then the Daniel's Curse is the one where you do have to be aware of Irish history and Irish myths, and understand that in this era of like the early Iron Age, it's not going to be like modern day. So just keep that in mind. At least I didn't include deity incest, unlike the Greeks. Okay. I was like, we're not going to do that because there are some like Irish gods Some of them are like, in some versions, they're like mother and son. And then other versions are not. So I'm going to go with the other option. Right? We're just going to go. That's not the book that I wanted to, but we're going to go with the other option. And like, as I said, it's about upholding peace between Irish clans with a young woman who has magical abilities, but she's human. And why is that?
I'm gonna take a wild guess here. I'm gonna guess that you really like the movie Midsummer.
I haven't watched that. It's on my.
You haven't watched that?
No, it's on my list.
Oh my God! You of all people need to go watch that. You need to watch that immediately, and then report back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know what you think.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing, because would that be based on Midsummer Night Murders, or like it's a vibe of that, like with fairies and stuff?
No.
It's the old Scandinavian folklore
Yeah.
and traditions.
Interesting. Yeah, it's hard to find Celtic stuff anymore. Like for like I grew up with Morgan Llewellyn, and I shout her out all the time. But like she's not really well known anymore. But she started in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, and she was just writing like a national bestseller. So in her time, she was extremely popular, writing about all things Celtic, but like then specifically, she narrowed down to Irish fantasy and Irish Irish historical fiction. And for a long time, like the trend, right, was Ireland. But then, and I was talking to my grandmother about this a few years ago, because we're Irish American, and we did have family in Ireland, but they passed away, so we don't have any connection with that anymore. But there, like for decades, it was really focused in on Ireland, because Ireland really pushed like the Celtophile. Oh, if you're Irish, like you're still part of us, even if you're in Canada or Australia or
Yeah.
the United States. So come and visit us. Like you're still part of the family, right? But then when like the Troubles, a couple of years after the Troubles ended, that kind of settled down, and people, unfortunately, like they wanted something else. So then now it's Scottish and Norse, that like you see that historical fantasy trend of Scotland and Norse, specifically Viking stories. So I don't. I'm always really excited when I see books or movies or TV shows that are like the Irish myths and legends. But Diana Gabaldon actually really pushed forward the Scottish love, and it's still going strong. She released Outlander in like the 90s, and it took a little bit to catch on, but like y'all, I'm sure everyone's heard of Outlander at this point.
Yeah.
And the travel to Scotland has greatly increased, mainly because of her, but then also other writers seeing that trend of, oh, we're not writing Irish stuff anymore. Okay, we're doing Scottish stuff. All right, let's go. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of Scottish historical fantasy, and then it's now Norse. And I don't know if really the Scottish is kind of going away, but like the Norse stories have really jumped up. Yeah.
Brian likes that title. Did you ever read, Nicole? You ever read the Good Fairies of New York?
It not read. I've heard of it before.
Millar, I think. Millar. Let me see.
It rings a bell.
Good Fairies.
I just love everything fairies. I will recommend highly Emily Wilde's book.
Martin Miller.
Oh, Martin Miller. I really love the Encyclopedia of Fairies. by Heather Fawcett. She
Okay.
actually did a lot of research. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. She did amazing research on fae and other beings, and she takes it from folklore, and even some bits are actually like neo-pagan Wiccan beliefs. And I know there are some people, like I had one person that I recommended it to, and she was like, it doesn't really make sense. But and you have not necessarily like you have to know, because there's a lot of people that are not like me, where they didn't grow up neo-pagan, surrounded by Wiccans and witch, like, right. Okay. But like you need to like know like kind of like at least an interest of fairies, and I don't think she had that much of an interest of fairies. And so like it goes into like what is a fairy, the different types of fairies,
Yeah,
and what they wear and what they eat, and how you overcome their spells and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I recommend it. That's really fun.
right. Hi, Chris. All right. Well, I'm thinking maybe we should probably wrap it. It looks like most people are popping off now, and I think Gareth has probably pushed himself to the limit from the.
Well, is this the first one we're ever going to do without talking about biscuits? Because if we're
Oh, we never talked about biscuits.
Oh no, we just jumped right in.
I mean, I don't know. I think only one of us had bona fide biscuits anyway. So.
all right, well, we can make this a special one. So Nicole made it special. I was saving these ones. I had them for a week, and I thought I'm going to wait until the show. So maybe I'll wait another 2 weeks and wait till the next show.
Yeah, there's Farrah. I was wondering about the biscuits.
It's very odd.
That's
apparently
really.
Our next one might be on Halloween night, mightn't it?
Yeah, next one's on Halloween.
Yeah, so we're gonna dress up as vampires.
Yeah. Or fairies.
Or fairies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
do it. I'm a huge fan of Brian Froud's illustrations, Nicole. So when I think of fairies, I have that kind of image of Brian Froud fairies. Yeah, I love his illustrations.
Yeah, they've changed a lot. I think the start was around like making fairies look pretty and stuff. Started around the Victorian era. I think this is interesting with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. She chose to go for like the more darker side, because you usually see like whatever. And I love all versions. I'm really excited. But my fairies are well, I do have fairies and elves. I make it depending on the individual, not like all fairies are evil or all fairies are tricksters or anything like that. It depends who you're interacting with. But I usually go with like kind of tricky, funny, little mischievous, but also like at the end of the day, they even if they hit your keys because you didn't clean the sink after you used it.
I love the Arthur Conan Doyle stories about him like looking for him in his back garden and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that movie.
Oh yeah, they did film it, didn't they?
There's like that whole
Lady Cottington's. Is it Lady Cottington?
So there were a series of pictures where in like the 20s or something where they said these are like fairies are real. We have like pictures of them, but it turned out to be fake. Then they did a movie based on that, but they didn't add the fake part. And I grew up on that movie. Of course, I can't remember it, but it's like
I can't remember what it's called, but I know which one you mean. Yeah.
It's like instilled in my brain, like yes, fairies. Oh my god, let's go in the backyard and find fairies under the log.
There's a wonderful romantic tone about that, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like whimsical. I think
Yeah.
whimsical fairies are very popular, and I can understand why, because it's fun, and it brings on nostalgia, because whimsical is it's kind of close to nostalgia,
Yeah.
and it's just like fun to think that there's like a fairy in a cute little cave somewhere talking to the animals. I don't know. And you happen upon them, and like you can
Yeah.
friend the fairy, right?
There's an innocence to it. You
Yeah.
know? People are too cynical nowadays.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think I get a lot of people saying that Obsidian Murders is cozy. I'm like, whatever you want to think. But if it brings you joy, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you described it in a positive way, then yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah.
So Patricia loved that book.
Oh yes. The second one's great. The third one's coming out next year.
Mm.
February, I think.
Thank you, Constance.
See you, Constance. See you, Brian. See you, Farah. Great to learn more about you, Nicole. That movie, Constance loved the movie too. Nostalgic. So
We just can't remember the title.
Yeah.
But
Someone get back to the book.
right?
you'll remember it like as soon as we get off.
Yeah. Be like, oh, is that one? I know my daughter really, really loved all that, and we used to buy her books on like trapped, squashed fairies and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
she loved all that. She still does. She's 29 now.
Mhm. Same.
Yeah.
Totally same.
All right. Well, all right, everybody. So if you not already subscribed, go subscribe to Nicole's Bookish Nook. Definitely get Obsidian Murders for Cult Detective October.
Yeah.
And any parting words, guys?
Catch us on Halloween night.
Catch us on Halloween night. It's going to be a spooky blast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
We should have an undead person as a guest.
oh yeah, like a zombie or a ghost. That might be hard though.
just have like a black window there with no seats.
Oh yeah, you just have someone just pretend,
Yeah.
and then they just don't show their webcam. It'll be totally fine.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Nicole.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been
having me.
absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.